Okay.
You back?
I think.
Okay, we'll let everybody show up first.
Yeah. That was weird. Well, yeah, what happened, because I think you guys didn't hear, but we lost power for like a few seconds, and then the OBS, the stream went off, but then it like, OBS said after like 5 seconds, it said it reconnected, and then I saw like some people had, you know, commented, and so I was like, oh, maybe it's still going, but then Tom tried to go back in and he couldn't find
the stream.
New stream. And that the first one had stopped.
So those are old comments.
So I was kind of like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to stop and like start a new one because.
So we'll let everybody show up.
Yeah.
We only got a couple people in there.
Okay. Yeah, that was like, yeah, that wasn't. That was just a power flicked out, and the modem went off. So there's that. Well, we'll just kind of wait for.
We're about halfway through it, probably.
I mean, a little bit less than halfway through. I mean, we've only been going for like an hour, so.
Okay, so we're good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Everybody's coming in.
Yeah, okay.
They know what's up. We gave you guys a heads up. We gave you a warning. We told you the storm is fucking us up.
Yeah. Danny Rolling's still trying to get you to put that white wig on. You might have to do it.
I ain't putting no fucking white wig on.
Why not? Why'd you buy it then?
If I put a wig on, it's going to be the Danzig wig. Okay. I'm in a Danzig kind of move.
I just saw your butt crack.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. No,
you can't. You just think anything's crack. You see that. You see that's your crack.
Yeah, that's a butt crack.
That's not a crack. That's my back.
No, that's your butt crack.
My ass is all the way down here. Okay. It's the imagination.
It's okay. I know what a damn butt crack looks like. It's the top of your butt crack. But yeah. Yeah, we had the power go out, in case you guys didn't know. And I thought that it came back, but I guess it didn't come back. Because I guess all the comments, like the old comments that had gone, you know, and then they came back like after the power came back on. So I thought it was still going, but Murderhorn said it rarely rains here. It was honestly, I like rain. I mean, it's better than cooking to death, but usually, like I said, Florida, particularly in the summertime and like the early autumn, is bad. Like usually, like the afternoon storms are like really, really bad. Like we get tornadoes and just shit like that. It's still raining now, but it's not. We're not getting like all the wind and lightning and shit like that like we were getting. At least it doesn't usually last that long. That's the thing. And then, like I said, we get like a bunch of hurricanes too. Hurricanes are usually the worst around September, October. Sly said we've not had rain since May 2022. Holy shit. Danny Rolling said long shows are the best shows. This is probably going to be long because I'm probably only about, I'm trying to look, maybe about a quarter of the way through my notes or a third of the way. Like I said, I know he always kind of like complains because it's like, oh, you put too many cases, but it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. Like most of the cases that I was talking about like weren't that long. So, and I wanted to have like a good, I don't know, like a good mix of stuff. Hugo said people don't know how to drive here when it rains. Lots of accidents. Yeah, same. I mean, that's why anytime when it gets raining, the thing about Florida, though, is you can't really give people like that much of a thing because most of the people that live in Florida are not from Florida. But even people that are from Florida, like it seems like every time it storms, they forget. It only does this every fucking day. But shit, man, I've been on the highway, like on I-4 or some shit like that, which is a shit show even in the best conditions. But I've been on that where the storm, like a storm blew in like really quick and it was like so bad that you couldn't even see like 5 feet in front of you. Like it was just kind of like horizontal rain. And you didn't even, and you wanted to pull over, but you were afraid to pull over because you couldn't see where the side of the road was anymore. Like you couldn't see like the lines on the road and you couldn't see the shoulder and you couldn't see, so you're just like, well, I'm just going to go like 5 miles an hour really, really slow and hope nobody hits me. And it's just kind of that kind of thing because you absolutely could not see a single fucking thing. But yeah, scary. All right. So are you back?
A drink over there? Okay.
Yeah. Where else would it be?
I didn't know if I set it down.
What do you do? Why?
Breaking shit.
Why'd you break her snacky?
It's an accident. I stepped on it. It didn't break.
Well,
it broke a little bit.
Fix it.
Don't be yelling at me. The head came off.
Well, the head's supposed to come off. That's how you put new treats in it. Is there still treats in it?
No.
Well, let me put treats in it then, because otherwise she'll...
I can't find any wigs.
Because otherwise... Well, come over here and sit so I can fix her thing because you're...
Nah, don't worry about it.
Because you're flopping around everywhere and you're, like, messing up her shit.
Don't worry about it. Everybody back?
I guess so. Yeah, I gotta talk or something.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I
had to, like, talk. You were
I'm
gone
reading. I'm seeing what
all
everybody's talking
that
about.
time. And I had to, like, entertain people. You entertain people.
I am entertaining people.
You're not entertaining
I entertain people, just all I gotta do is sit here.
You're just breaking all Pookie's toys.
I'd have let that sit. I'd have let that wait.
No, it's fine. She'll be mad if she comes in.
No.
She'll be mad if
she's got treats everywhere.
I know, but she's
got treats everywhere.
Don't leave this open either.
Damn, man. Fucking this house is gonna blow over. You hear this shit?
I know.
This is a bad storm out there.
It is. Well, obviously, because the power went out.
Yeah.
All right, so she's got her little snowman filled back up again. Thank you, Jeffy Art. I was in the other room when it cut out. Last thing I remember was Tom being a Minotaur and challenging Dennis Rader. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
And then lightning came and struck us down.
Yes. And thank you for the $5.
Thank you.
I had to pull fucking Dennis Rader out, and when I pull Dennis Rader out, money shows up. I get some flash bulbs. But you have to understand, Dennis is not something that I do lightly. Okay, it's got to be serious for me to pull Dennis out. It's true. Because I got people saying, "No, do Dennis, do Dennis." I'm not like a performing monkey. You know what I mean? I'm talented. Okay.
Oh my God, I want a shirt that says that. I'm not a performing monkey. I'm talented, okay?
Yeah. I'm going to channel Dennis, okay? He comes when he's ready, okay?
I think he tried to strike you with lightning, Tom.
Yeah, he's trying to kill me. He's jealous.
He's jealous because you can do his shtick better than him.
I got a better butt crack than him.
All right, way to bring it back around. I like that.
Told you.
You got a better butt crack than him. I don't really want to think about Dennis Rader's. I don't want to think about Dennis Rader's butt crack.
His shit's fucked up. Yeah, his shit's fucked up. My shit's sexy.
It's all zigzag.
Yeah, his shit's all fucked up.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just made
fucking
that up.
Dennis Rader.
His little bobblehead ass is back. I can see him.
You trying to get me to fucking bring Dennis?
Look at his little face.
I'm gonna bring Dennis.
He's back there staring at us. He's back there staring at us.
Well, you know how it is. Tom and Jenny just trying to make a show, and Tom thinks he's channeling me. He's not channeling me. I'm fucking riding on top of him. I'm speaking through him. I have all kinds of metaphysical powers, all kinds of fucking supernatural powers. I'm locked up now, but anytime I want to give a call to the outside world, I take over. I possess Tom. I fucking, you know what I mean? And then I speak through his mouth. You know, he doesn't know anything about being the Minotaur. I'm the Minotaur.
Can we see your butt crack?
Tom doesn't have a nice butt crack. I got a nice butt crack.
Can we see it? Prove it.
Well, I took all kinds of pictures of it. You know what I mean? That was back when I was in good shape. I've been locked up for a while, you know, eating Hydrox cookies and fucking not really getting the kind of exercise I need. And so, you know what I mean? I'm not the man that I once was. You know, no man can hold together. You know,
I understand.
No, back in the day, no, my butt crack was swinging. Girls loved it. Okay.
Girls loved his butt crack specifically.
Yeah, okay. Dennis checked out. He went back to the penitentiary.
He went back to the penitentiary. He's over here standing by the man. Wait, that wore you out?
Yeah. Takes energy from me.
It takes energy out of you. All right, you're all right now?
I'm fine.
You gonna recover?
I'm fine.
You gonna recover?
I feel dirty after having that motherfucker coming through, talking through.
Ew, he came through. You're gross.
Talking through. It's coming through and talking through him.
It's such a burden for you to bear, Tom.
Man has to do what he has to do for the show.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so you were talking about the case earlier where somebody had rented a house to somebody and did the walls out or whatever. This is a case a little bit like that. So this happened in 2013 in Massachusetts. So there was a guy named Christian Hobbs, and he was 44. And he had basically been living underneath, well, I don't know if I'd say living, because he wasn't there that long. He was only there for a few days. But he had been living underneath this woman's mobile home. And he actually got sentenced to 3 to 6 years in prison. What ended up happening was that there was this woman named Tina Iacono, and she lived in Salem. And she was 40 years old, and she had a son that was a toddler. Now, Christian Hobbs, who was the guy who had sold her the mobile home, one day when she was out, he had come in there and had cut openings in the floor, and then he had like this little crawl space like underneath, and he had like a couple baby monitors under there and a cell phone, so he was just kind of like under there like recording everything that she did. And some sources said that he had like asked her out like when she was buying the house, and she's like, yeah, no thanks. But he like developed some kind of obsession with her. I don't know if that's true or not, but he was like underneath her house like jerking it.
Yeah.
And like taping her and like listening to her and her kid, who was like a toddler. The crazy thing about it is that she didn't really realize, because like I said, it was kind of like, it's a trailer, you know, it was a mobile home, so there's kind of like a crawl space like underneath.
Yeah, it was a big space underneath.
Yeah, there's a big space under there. So I kind of feel like that wouldn't be that weird, because somebody could probably like come and go into there without you seeing them or like
easy.
you hearing anything.
There's a skirt in there, and you can fucking...
Yeah, because it's not like in an attic where you'd hear somebody walking around like over your head. It's like if somebody was like under the floor, you wouldn't
like crawling underneath the car.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily like see them. What ended up happening was that he'd been under there for like a couple of days, and she was in the bathroom one day, and I guess she just like gone to the bathroom like you do when you go in the bathroom, and she thought she saw something moving like there was like a vent like in the floor. And she saw something like moving around, and she thought it was like an animal underneath. And she looked down in there, and his fucking face was looking back at her.
Damn.
She look, can you imagine? Oh my God. I would fucking shit a brick if that happened. But yeah, so she looks down in there, and he looks up at her, and like a fucking psycho, he just goes, hello.
Damn. That fucking freak.
I can't even.
So how the hell, what was she looking through?
It was like a vent.
The vent.
Yeah.
How did he get inside the fucking air ducts?
See, I don't really know. It seemed like
he must have pulled a piece away so he could look up through the vent. Has to have been.
Yeah, I kind of think that that's what it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, he had actually sold her the mobile home like 5 years previously.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess he decided, hey, I'm going to go like fucking watch her and like wait for her to get naked.
So he'd been cutting things. To get through so he could look
like
through
holes
vents.
and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he had, like I said, he had a bunch of baby monitors and stuff. And like when the police went under there, they found, when he even admitted, yeah, I've been jerking off under there. I'm like, great. That's really what I want to hear about. Like some.
Well, they were going to find that out anyway.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, because when they looked, they found like a whole bunch of power bars under there. Thank you, Sly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sly.
Thank you, Sly. Yes, found a bunch of power bars under there. Tissues.
Yeah. Great. Lube.
I was going to say, was there lube or some lotion down there too? Yeah. They didn't say that. But
some
yeah,
mirrors. He's fucking sticking up.
He's so gross. Can you imagine? I can't imagine.
I can imagine.
I mean, there's not like, you know, my bathroom, like I said, it's on the second floor, so it doesn't have like a vent in it. But I can't imagine like just living in a house and like going to the bathroom, like doing your regular shit, and then like seeing some motherfucker like looking up at you.
Looking up.
Like I said, it's like a fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's what he had done. Like, he was a handyman, and he had sold her the house, so he was just, like, doing some shit around the house. He's like, hey, I'm going to hook up some baby monitors in the trailer and cut a bunch of holes in the floor and, like, the vent beneath the bathroom floor. Ended up causing, like, $800 in damage, like, to the house. Now, initially, he actually got charged with manufacturing child pornography because she had a toddler. And obviously the kid had been naked in the bathroom, like while she was giving him a bath and stuff like that. So they were trying to like get him on charge of that, like so they could get like some more charges.
Yeah, because he was recording it.
Yeah, he was recording it for later. Oh, are we keeping you awake?
Yeah,
we're keeping you awake.
No, I got tired. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So he didn't get indicted on that, I guess, because they were kind of like, well, that maybe wasn't the intent. But he did get indicted on 10 other charges. So he got. Let's see, burglary, criminal mischief, attempted violation of privacy, attempted interception of telecommunications or oral communications. So I guess that was like he was listening in our phone call or something like that. Now, they found out too that he also had a prior conviction. Like, this was several years before, because like I said, when he got arrested, this was in 2013, he was 44. And when he was 18, he'd actually been convicted before in Massachusetts of larceny and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Like, he was a peeping Tom. He was like spying on a teenage girl, like getting naked or whatever.
How was that contributing to her delinquency?
That's what I don't know.
She's been in on it.
That's what I mean. I don't know if they didn't have a law in the books back then that was like for peeping Tom. I don't really know what the deal was.
No, there's more to it.
He said, he told police, he's like, oh, well, I have a voyeur problem, and he needs, like, counseling and stuff.
He must have been giving her alcohol or something in exchange for it. Something like that.
Maybe that's what
Contributing to delinquency usually involves an adult
buying alcohol.
Or giving something to a kid that they're not old enough to have. So she might have been trading with him. Yeah, you can look at me if you give me a six-pack. That kind of weird shit.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's minor shit when you compare it to.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying
in the main stream of fucking crime. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, a lot of worse.
Well, like I said, if I say something's fucked up, that doesn't mean that other things aren't also fucked up. It's a whole spectrum of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's low down on the spectrum, but it's still fucked up. But it's still fucked up. So he had to go to like a sex offender treatment program. And I guess they had like they had a restraining order or whatever, but I don't know if he's still in prison though, because I think the maximum was 6 years, and that was 2013. So even if he got the maximum, he would have been out by now. So I don't know. I couldn't find anything else about him, so maybe he's been behaving himself. I don't really know. So here's another one. So I think this might have happened in the UK, actually. Yeah, this is a UK one. Like I said, all the other ones I think are United States, but this one's UK. So there was this happened in 2015. So there was a woman named Marie Wright. Now, she was 28, and she was dating this guy named Alexander Cooper, who was 27. Now, they had been dating for about 5 months. So like I said, this was 2015. What ended up happening is they had actually met like 10 years prior, but had kind of like lost track of one another. But then they both, one of them like saw the other one on Plenty of Fish, that that dating website or dating app or whatever.
That's old shit there.
It is. Well, it's still around, but yeah, I think. But yeah. So they saw each other, was like, oh yeah, I remember that motherfucker or whatever. So they kind of like reconnected and started dating again. She says he seemed totally normal. Don't they all at first? So yeah, so they start dating. But what ended up happening about 5 months into the relationship, she asks Alexander to stay with her at her home, which was in Sheffield. She's like, hey, my roommate is away, like on vacation. So just either you can stay in the house with me, like, and while they're gone, so I don't have to stay by myself. So he does that, but then like after that, she's like, okay, like go back to your own house now. She's like, I kind of need my space or whatever. He's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go stay with my dad for a little while. But spoiler alert, you know what the show's about. He didn't do that. He didn't go live with his dad. So her roommate, Marie's roommate, comes back from vacation. And then they start noticing weird little shit around the house. Like food's missing from the freezer. Toilet paper is getting used like way faster than normal. They're kind of like losing track of like where are our cigarettes. I bought a whole pack and now it's gone. Shit like that. So now initially they were just kind of like, you bitch, you did that. No, you bitch, you did that. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? It's because you think it's like the other person. So they started doing stuff like they started setting like little booby traps for one another, right? Like putting tape on the cabinet doors and stuff. Now they found out like while they were at work, like somebody has been like fucking up with the tape, and it's just kind of like, and then they found like, I guess they had like this attic loft or something, and they found there was all kind of like dirty fingerprints all over it. And they're like, okay, well, we know neither one of us did that. So then they call the cops. Now the cops come, But the cops were super not helpful. They basically, they went up into the loft, but they didn't go into the back of the loft because I guess it was a big boiler in the way, and they didn't like look behind it or anything. They just kind of like glanced up there and were just like, yeah, there's nobody. Maybe change your locks though. Bye. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. Now, here's the fucked up thing. So she's still dating Alexander at this point. And she says to Alexander, holy shit, I think somebody's like living in our house. And he even goes up there with a flashlight into the attic, like looking around. Nope, nobody up here. The fucking audacity. And he was the guy that was doing it.
Yeah.
But she didn't know that. So it's like, so he's acting like all chivalrous and everything. I'll go up there and check for you. Nope, no, nobody's up here. You're fine. It's just that kind of shit.
Yeah.
He had a crowbar and everything. Like he was going to like hit the guy. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, fucking hell. Now, the next day after that happened, Marie saw that somebody had taken out 3 payday loans worth 450 pounds out in her name and had taken 200 pounds in cash out of her checking account. Now, she was like, okay, that had to be like whoever the motherfucker is that's living up in the loft, because maybe like while I was sleeping, they came down and like took my card or something like that. So she tells the cops. They took statements, and while she's telling the cops, her boyfriend Alexander is right there being all supportive and stuff. Now, her housemate, though, has twigged onto the fact, I don't really trust this Alexander motherfucker. So while Marie was taking Alexander like to his father's house the next day, she called her brother and said, go up in the attic and see what the fuck is going on up there. So the brother goes up there, and they find this whole makeshift bedroom. Like the dude, like the pictures of it look really squalid. It's just kind of like, it doesn't even look like he had real, I couldn't really tell from the picture, but it looked like he was using like shitty old like insulation like for blankets. It didn't look like he had like a real blanket or nothing. Maybe he did, and it was just dirty. I don't know. I couldn't tell, but it looked like shitty old insulation. But the roommate says, he had been texting me from up there, telling me he couldn't answer phone calls because his phone was broken. Actually, it was because he was in the loft. He didn't want to like answer calls because he thought that someone would hear him, right? And she said it was like Survivor up in the loft. He had made a bed out of quilts and our blankets and pillows off the settee, which is like the couch. It was so weird. There were food wrappers and there's like cigarette ashes everywhere. And she said, I found a stash of his dirty clothes hidden in my room. They had been there so long they smelled bad. There was also a Stanley knife, like a big knife. So he was keeping his dirty clothes like in the roommate's bedroom, and they stunk. And it was just kind of, he'd been living up there like all this time.
He couldn't wash his clothes, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
So at this point, she's just like, hey, your stupid boyfriend has been like living up in our fucking attic and like pretending that I can't. The fucking cheek, the fucking nerve of the guy to like just be, I'll go up there and like, oh, so yeah, that's so terrible, blah blah blah. Oh my god, fuck off.
He got forced into a situation.
Fuck off, dude. Oh my god.
He got forced into a situation.
Seriously. So they call the cops again, and they're like, look, it was her boyfriend the whole time. And he admitted it. He's like, yeah, I used her bank card, and like I took out, because he stole a bunch of money from her too.
Yeah.
And then, this is so sad to me, but it's just like, Marie says, this was a quote that was in the paper, it felt like it was all my fault, because I trusted him, and he was my boyfriend, even though I know it wasn't. I'm like, is that sad? That she, like, blamed, how the fuck would she know? She wouldn't know. You don't know some motherfucker's gonna do some shit like that. So he got put in jail for 16 months. So he pled guilty.
16 months? Well,
16 months.
That's a long time,
Yeah, he pled guilty to, it was 12 counts. Fraud, theft, perverting the course of justice.
Okay.
I guess because he had like pretended that, something, that there wasn't anything going on or something like that. So yeah, he got 16 months out of the deal. I don't know what happened to him after that, because that was like 2015. But apparently he has not reoffended, because I didn't see his name come up any newer than that. So, Now here's another case.
Sounds like he was just in a particular situation where he could do that. And he got pushed into doing that type of crime and, hiding in a girl's house. He was dating her. So he didn't have his own house, so he had to figure out how he's going to live with her. So he lived up in the attic.
I mean,
he didn't have any money, didn't have a pot to piss in, so he started stealing from her.
Yeah. And another sad thing, too, was that she said, if he needed money, he could have asked me. But I was just like, yeah, but if you knew he was living in the attic, you wouldn't have, like, given him any.
Yeah, and finally he was homeless. That's
like,
what,
get the fuck out of my attic. God
that's why he didn't say anything.
I guess.
It's like, oh, she'll dump me if she finds out I don't have a pot to piss in.
It's like, well,
she's hiding up in the house.
Surprise, she dumped you anyway because you're living in her fucking attic.
Yeah, and you got 16 months.
And stealing money. Good job, bud.
Right.
I mean, what the fuck were you thinking?
Should have said, man, I have a place to live, man. I'm fucking homeless. Let me sleep on your couch.
That's what I mean. So much would have been avoided if he would have just said, hey, like, just been honest and said, look, I'm broke and I don't have any place to live. Yeah. Like, she might have been, she might have just said, oh, well, not your problem, not my problem. But it's like, maybe she would have said, oh, you can sleep on our couch until you figure something else out.
A lot of women will help a guy. She likes it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're dating them.
I need a job and I need money and I need to get a place to live. Can you help me? Fucking, a lot of women will help you.
Up to a point. Like, you can't just, like.
As long as you're doing your part.
Yeah, as long as you're not being a dick about it or something like that. It's like, yeah, a lot of them actually will help you out. So it's just kind of like. I wouldn't have minded if he'd have just said that. I'd been like, yeah, you can sleep on my couch for a few weeks until you find something else, like someplace else to go or a job or something like that. I would have done that. Well, it takes
more than a few weeks, more like a few months.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that until you find a better situation.
Gotta get a motherfucker a roommate.
It's just kind of like, why the fuck?
Yeah.
But the fact that he went that route, just that I don't know, and then had the audacity to pretend like. He wasn't living up there, and he's like, oh no, honey, somebody's living up in your house. I'll check that out. I'll figure it out. Fuck off with that, Jesus Christ, dude. All right, so here's another motherfucker that moved into his ex-girlfriend's house. So it seems to be a recurring theme. They're not all like.
Well, you know her, so you might as well move in with her.
Even though she doesn't know about it.
Yeah, it's just an opportunity. I'm gonna live above you. Me and you are gonna be living together. I'm gonna creep in and fucking sleep inside your walls.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll creep out and get a blanket.
That's what they're doing.
That's fucking funny.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
So this one happened in 2012, and this actually happened in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And the girl's name was Tracy. She actually didn't want her last name said, so it always says last name withheld, but her name's Tracy. And so she had 5 kids, was a single mother. Now, she's in a house, she lives in a house, and she said the first thing she noticed in 2012 was that she started hearing this thumping noise from up above her, her bedroom. And then she sees nails start popping out from the bedroom ceiling. And this is 2:30 in the morning. Now, initially, like we said, she thought it was poltergeist activity. What the holy shit?
A nail comes down.
Nails are popping out of the ceiling like that. Now, she's like, okay, well, there's all these weird noises up there. So she sends a couple of her older sons up there, go check and see what that is. Now, the sons go up there and they find out that some of the nails have been kind of pried loose from the floorboards. And when they went up there, they found inside of the heating unit, they found a 44-year-old guy who was sleeping. And he had gone inside the heating unit, I guess, and it put all these, I guess it was cold there or whatever. But it's South Carolina didn't get that cold, does it? I don't know. But it's so he'd put jackets all inside there. Yeah, it must have been wintertime. So he put jackets all inside there, was sleeping in there. And so the sons were hey, motherfucker, why are you sleeping in my mom's attic, in the heating thing in the middle of the night? And it turned out that this dude was Tracy's ex-boyfriend, who she had broken up with 12 years previously.
Damn.
12 years previously.
He knew where her house was.
This fucking dude, man.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about it, and the reason why she had broken up with him 12 fucking years ago, was that he was a criminal. Right. He'd actually kind of beaten up on her in the past. He had stolen her truck, at which point she's like, get the fuck out. And he actually ended up in prison. Now, he would write letters to her from jail, but she either didn't answer or wrote back and was like, fuck off and die, you motherfucker. Mm-hmm. I'm paraphrasing. But she just kept saying, look, we're not a thing. Just stop writing to me. But evidently, shortly after he was released from prison, he found out where she lived and snuck into her house and climbed up in the attic. And he was, just like this other fucking guy. Not only was he sleeping up in her attic, but he'd also kind of drilled some holes and stuff like that so he could look into her bedroom at night. Damn. So he could watch what she was doing.
Damn.
So there was that. Now, once they found him, he fucking took off. Now, basically, the police came and they investigated the attic. They found, like, a whole bunch of evidence, obviously. They didn't actually know how long he had been in there. But they knew that he must have come in because they said the only way that you could get up there was this hallway that kind of, like, went, like, between a bunch of the bedrooms. That was, like, the only way you could get in there. So he must have been going in and out, like, when nobody was home or somebody would have seen him. Now, the scary thing about this is that because he took off, they looked for him, but they were never able to find him. So I don't know. Like, I looked to see if there was any kind of, like, recent updates on this kind of case, but I didn't see one. So I don't know if they ever caught the dude. Like, the article that I found from 2012, it basically described the dude and said he was still at large. But I looked to see if there was anything more recent, and there really wasn't. They said, I don't think they ever did find the dude.
Weird.
And they said that her and her kids were like freaking out because they said, holy shit, if he found us before, then he could easily find us again. And if they don't catch him, like, we don't know.
He must have moved on.
I would hope. Well, yeah, but you would think that. But, like, you break up with a motherfucker and then, like, 12 years later, he turns up, like, living in your house. I mean, obviously that's a dude that's, like, carrying a torch or something.
Well, he was in prison for most of that, though, right?
I don't know how long he was in prison, actually. Okay. I don't know if he was in prison that whole time.
Right.
But
he must have been in prison for a long time, and then he needed a place to go, so he went to go look for her. That's weird, though. You'd think he'd be, like, on going through halfway houses and probation and everything. And you'd think that they would want to know if he was working. He was totally free, somehow, and he looked for her.
Yeah.
Weird.
And I don't know if she was living in the same house that she lived in, like, when they broke up, and that's how he found her, or if he found her some other way.
He felt comfortable up there because he knew who she was.
And also, he wanted to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was one of those.
Not forever, though. And then he split.
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know if
Case.
I'd ever be able to, like, sleep right at night after that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, but like I said, she probably thought that before too, and then like 12 years later, here's this motherfucker again. Here's this asshole.
She wasn't alert to the fact that this motherfucker was around. Now that she is, he's probably not. He's gone.
Yeah, hopefully she like bought a gun or something.
He probably got something better in life, and then moved on, or he's back in jail. But no, they said they never caught him. So
but he might have gone to somewhere. Yeah, I didn't see anything that he'd been caught. But like I said, I don't know what his name was either because they kept all the articles about it. Like she didn't want her identity known, so it was kind of hard to like look for because I didn't know what the dude's name was. So it's very, very possible that he could have got caught for some other shit and like
whatever it was. He didn't have anywhere to go. He considered her home. Weird, huh?
I guess, yeah.
That's how it is.
I mean,
that's how he thought.
I don't even remember shit that happened 12 years ago. Much less fucking Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. He considered her as like his next of kin.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live in your fucking attic.
Yeah, I'm gonna live in your attic because you don't like me, but I'm gonna live in your attic, and then I'll figure this shit out. That's probably what happened.
Jesus Christ, these fucking people. All right, so the next one I want to talk about, this happened back in 2008, and this is fucked up. This happened like right around Christmas time. So there's this woman named Stacy Ferentz, and she had 3 kids, and they lived in Plains Township in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Now, around Christmas time, like I said, of 2008, they started, like, you know, kind of your regular stuff like we've been talking about, like hearing weird sounds, food disappearing from the fridge, like stuff going missing, like their belongings and stuff. This went on for about a week. And at first, like I said, they didn't really think anything about it. And this kind of resonated because they were like, well, we had a bunch of cats. So anytime we like heard noises in the middle of the night, we just figured it was the cats, which is usually what I do too. That's why, like, if somebody broke in the house, we'd be like, it'd probably be bad because I would wake up and be like, what was that noise? Oh, it's Pookie. Because Pookie makes all kind of noise, like in the night, running up and down the hall and stuff. So people that have cats, they make noise at night. You know, they're nocturnal.
No one could fool me. If there was a man-sized fucking creature in this fucking house, I'd know it.
I mean, yeah, you do have to think, like, we're pretty familiar with all the noises that Pookie makes.
Yeah.
I mean, she's loud, like, for being really small, but you would hope that it would sound completely different if it was like somebody walking around, I would think.
Yep.
But yeah, but they didn't really think anything of it. Like I said, it must not have been anything too egregious, like the sounds, because they just thought it was their cats. Now, one of the things that Stacy, the mom, remembers, she said her daughter Courtney woke her up like really, really early, like a few days before Christmas, and said, "There's somebody in my closet." And the closet was where the panel for the attic was, just like in this closet right here. And the mom was just kind of like, she just thought she was having a bad dream. That's what, sometimes, like when you see the show A Haunting, they're just like, oh, there's nobody in your closet. Every now and then, there actually might be. Because in this case, there actually was somebody in there. But the mom didn't actually look, because she was like, oh, you just had a bad dream. It's fine. But then she started noticing like a bunch of their clothes were missing. It was around Christmas time, so some of their relatives had like sent them cash and Christmas cards, and a bunch of it was missing. Her daughter had just got a new iPod that was also missing, and a bunch of like gifts and stuff. And they said on Christmas Day, it seemed like their house actually got robbed twice. Like a bunch of their shit like disappeared in the morning, and then like a bunch more of their shit, including Stacy's new laptop, got stolen like later on that evening. She's like, okay, something is fucking going on. And she also found like a dirty footprint leading up to the attic. And she's like, okay, well, must be some motherfucker in here. So she calls the cops. So the cops come, and they find a dude named his name was Stanley Carter. He was 21 years old. Now, he actually surrendered without any fuss or anything like that on the day after Christmas. What ended up happening was that I guess the house was a duplex, and he had been living with his friends next door, and they kicked him out. And so he went up into the attic and then crawled across the attic to the other house, and then had been coming down into their house and like stealing their shit. They said this is like crazy. But they said when they first like caught him and they brought him down from the attic, like when the cops came, he had on the daughter's pants and the mom's sweatshirt and sneakers.
That's all you could find.
I don't think he was just like I'm into like wearing their clothes or anything. I think it was just like the clothes that he just stole from the laundry, and like that was what fit.
Yeah.
So Stacy said, from what I gather, yeah, I guess so, he was helping himself to my home, eating my food, and stealing my clothes. And this was the weirdest thing. It says she even found a piece of paper in the attic where he was writing down every item that he'd stolen from them. And across the top of it, it said Stanley's Christmas list. Who does that?
I don't know.
Who does that? So, yeah. He was actually, I guess he was originally from Arkansas, like I said. So yeah, he had been living in the house next door, like, which was attached, and they had told him to move out. I don't know why. So he climbed up through a trapdoor, and just like he'd been living there for about a week. And the crazy thing is that after his roommates like kicked him out for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but they didn't know where he went after that, and they were so worried about him that they actually reported him missing. On December 21st, because they said, well, we kicked him out, but then we don't know what happened to him afterward. What happened was that he crawled up into the fucking attic and then was living in the house next door, like without anybody knowing. But like his friends actually did report him missing.
He didn't have where to go.
I guess not. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, yeah. So the laptop that he stole from Stacy, the police actually like took it, and he'd been like writing emails to people on it. And they said one of the emails said, I don't want to go back to jail. I'd rather be wanted. So that kind of suggests that he probably has a criminal record, though I don't know what it's for. So he actually they charged him with like burglary, receiving stolen property, theft, criminal trespassing. And then he had to go back to this prison that he'd been in. So I'm assuming, I don't know what the charge was before, but I guess he had been like incarcerated before. So I don't really know. But I don't know. I guess that his attorney said, oh, he feels really bad about it, and he wasn't hurting anybody. I was like, yeah, but he stole a bunch of their shit, though. I mean, that's not cool.
Trying to survive.
Well, you don't need an iPod to survive, okay? And
he wanted to communicate.
So I don't know. So I don't know if he's been arrested anywhere else, but yeah. So he didn't like hurt anybody, but he did like steal a bunch of stuff. So I think I have a couple more cases, but the last one is like the worst one. So that's why I wanted to save that one until last. But this one's kind of bad too, but it's just kind of like,
This is second to the last?
Yeah, I think so. Like, the last one is, like, the worst one. So that's why... Yeah, the last one's the worst one. So that's why I wanted to, like, save it. So this one actually happened fairly recently. This happened in September of 2019.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, people. We need to like the video, please.
Yeah, it does actually, like, make a big
It makes a difference. And fucking, we lost the first stream. We had a lot of likes on that one. So.
All right, so I'm still on my first drink, I guess.
Yeah, it was strong, though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was strong. That was like a triple.
Doesn't seem like. I mean, it's all watered down now, but...
Yeah. Want more?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind another one. And more ice and, like, more...
Okay.
You know what I mean. All right, so this happened in September 2019. So you got James and Brittany Campbell, and they had been on vacation for a week. And they come back home at the end of their vacation. Now, they lived in Honolulu, in Hawaii. So they come back home to their house, and immediately they go to open the door, and there's a dude, like, peeking out through their door, like, when they open it. And the guy's, like, trying to hold the door shut. And they're like, bro, what the fuck? And the man says to James, "This is not your house." I'm like, I beg to differ, but okay. Yeah, he was, like, trying to hold the fucking door shut. And the guy said, James, like, the guy whose house it was, he's like, the guy just was very calm. "This is not your house." And he just, like, peeks out. Holy shit. So they call the cops, obviously. And this guy, his name is Ezekiel Zayas. I think I'm pronouncing that sort of correctly. And they open it up. He's in there, and he's wearing James's clothes, like, when they arrest him, right? Now, when they go inside the house, like I said, the Campbells have been gone for a week. They go inside the house, and the house is trashed. There are... The article said bodily fluids covered the furniture.
Okay, well, okay.
So use your imagination. Well, could be lots of bodily fluids. I mean, you know what I mean, but probably. This was funny too. The article also said, and this is a quote, "The kitchen was filled with strange concoctions."
What the fuck does that mean?
Meaning he was mixing some stuff in there. I don't know what the fuck he was making. Was he making some weird ass smoothies?
I don't know.
Spooge smoothies?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why there was fluids everywhere.
They'll write anything.
I don't know. I mean, strange concoctions. I don't know if that doesn't necessarily... Whenever you say concoctions, I usually think of, like, a drink, because that conjures up, like, witch's brew or something. But that could be food, too. I mean, he could have been, like, cooking stuff and said, well, that didn't work out. But he pretty much, like, trashed everything. He took, like, all their stuff and just, like, broke it and threw it around and destroyed it. And they also found, like, a bunch of stuff that he had written about the couple. Like, he wrote that he was going to, like, lay them out and, like, perform surgery on them. And, like, he had laid out, like, a bunch of knives, like he was a surgeon, and he was gonna, like, do some kind of... Yeah, like, he was planning all kind of shit.
Somebody mentioned something. If was the iPod really stolen? If it was still in the house, see, that's the thing.
See, that's like a technicality. Well, the thing about it is that, I mean, technically, I guess it's still stolen because look, if somebody,
it was still in the house though.
Yeah, but I mean, let's imagine a hypothetical situation where I live in an apartment, like, with a roommate.
Yeah.
And the roommate comes in my room while I'm not there and takes my shit and puts it in her room.
Right.
That's still technically stealing because you took it from me. Even though, I mean, it's still in the same house, but I don't know where the fuck it's at. You took it.
Okay.
And you didn't have permission.
Okay.
So I'm kind of thinking... And they didn't know, they didn't have any way of knowing of, like, if the person was still in the house or not. I don't think it matters if they're still in the house. I don't think proximity is like a... But that's an interesting point now that you bring it. I never really thought about it that way. Does proximity have something to do with, like, whether it's, like, fucking stolen or not? It's like, it can't be stolen. I only moved it 5 feet. But yeah, it was right there. But yeah. So this guy, Ezekiel, not only had he fantasized and written down, like, all these plans and laid all these knives, like, I'm going to do surgery on the fucking people that live in this house for whatever reason. But he also had like all these diary entries, like really, really detailed, that he had written about them, which led police to believe that he had probably been, I don't know if he'd been living in the house the whole time, but he for sure had been like watching them very, very closely. So they thought, well, he at least must have been either in the house or having access to their shit and like watching what they were doing. And when the cops said that, the couple was like, oh my God, like even before we went on vacation, they remembered some weird shit happening in the house. Like sometimes their webcams would come on in the middle of the night, or, you know, they would think that they'd locked the doors, but they were unlocked and stuff like that. So they don't actually know how long that dude had been in there before they went on vacation. Now they actually also found some videos that like the guy had made like on the webcams and stuff like that. Like the guy would like take all his clothes off and like sit in their chairs and like do fucked up shit like that. So like I said, they don't know how long he'd been in there. It had been at least a week, but it was probably longer because when they brought it up, so he had probably been living in there like before they even went on vacation, like, and they didn't realize it. But then like when they went on vacation, he just like went out and started like trashing the place. So they got a restraining order against him, and he got arrested. Now, he gets taken into custody, and he was let out on supervised release for a little while. But then he gets arrested again for this incident that happened at the Buddhist Study Center in Manoa, Hawaii. So he got arrested again. So then they take him back to prison in August, like late August of 2020. And then he gets in a fight with another inmate. And well, it wasn't even a fight. He just basically, Ezekiel, the guy that had been living in these people's house, he starts punching this other inmate named Vance Grace in the head like multiple times, like over and over and over. He just starts hitting him in the head, hitting him in the head. Vance like falls on the ground, and then Ezekiel just like kept stomping his head. And like the guards came and like told him to stop, but he wouldn't do it. He just like he was just like stomping and stomping and stomping. Now, a bunch of the guards came and like jumped on him and like restrained him, but Vance was killed. So he had like a hematoma. So Ezekiel, who was then 27 years old, he got charged with first and second degree murder. So yeah, that's fucking great. So this dude that later like beat another prisoner to death was living in these people's houses and like pooped and spooged on all their furniture and said he was gonna like cut them all open, and had probably been living in the house prior to that and like turning on their webcams and shit like that. So that's nice. Sleep tight, you guys.
Nasty.
It is pretty nasty. So this is the last case, and this is the one that's the most complex, and this is like the worst one.
All right.
This is like the worst one.
So this is the capital case, the crowning achievement.
Yeah, this is what I said.
Phrogging, living in your house.
I definitely wanted to. This is fucked up, and the thing about it is, like, they have they made a horror movie about this? If they made a horror movie about this, I'm not sure anyone would believe it.
Intruder was kind of a case of Phrogging.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
White dudes
and I was
Phrogging
thinking
underneath the house.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Scamming on that hot ass black chick. What was her fucking name again? And the husband there was like, "What the fuck?" And he'd pop out, Dennis fucking Quaid, fucking with his mouth going.
Like going with that with that big fucking Grinch smile that he had.
Yeah, it was one of the best B movies we saw in the theater. Then I recommended that with somebody, a regular viewer, I don't remember which one it was, went and saw it. Goes, yeah, it was kind of cool, but it was like something off a Lifetime. But it's just.
Well, like I said,
people are sick of those kind of movies now. They've been done over and over again. But fucking, I'm looking at it from the point of view of an old motherfucker who's looking at it retro. Like, I haven't seen something like that in a while. It just kind of reminded me, kind of like fucking Cape Fear. Or what was the one with the dude fucking living in a damn house and fucking letting the roaches go?
Was that Pacific Heights?
Pacific Heights, yeah, something like that.
I kind of want to see that again.
I like
actually.
that shit, yeah.
We should do like a whole month where we just talk about like fucking 90s thrillers like that, like Pacific Heights and
what I liked about Intruder,
female.
What I liked about Intruder is it's happening in upper middle classville, fucking nice house. It's kind of like how it was a house bigger than this one and a little bit more old school. It was kind of like a southern plantation style mansion. Fucking had that damn black couple in there, and the fucking bad guy was a white dude living underneath the fucking ground. It was a good angle. Scoping on a black girl. It was made to terrorize black people. Fucking Sly, you gotta see that flick, man. You'd fucking like it. Fucking, yeah. It was good.
It's like, I don't want anybody living underneath my house. I don't care what color they are.
Yeah. The lesson of that story is white man gonna get your woman. That's fucking... I was fucking laughing through the whole thing. But the thing is, what sucked about it is that fucking when me and Jenny were watching that at AMC, we were like the only people in the theater.
Well, like I said, I can understand that it's like, I mean, the heyday for those type of movies was kind of like the 90s.
The 90s, right.
I kind of feel like in the 90s it was like a billion movies like that, and like people were really into them. They got like big fucking...
It was a throwback movie.
It was very throwback.
It was a throwback movie.
Like nowadays, they make a lot of movies like that still, but usually they're like, you know, TV movies. They're like Lifetime movies or something like that.
Yeah, and it was...
Intruder, it's called.
Intruder. It's called Intruder.
With
Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid. And,
came out a couple years back.
And had that fucking black dude with the glasses who's always playing intellectual guy, and that...
I thought wasn't he in the Jacob's Ladder remake? I want to say I think it was the same actor, but it's been a while since I've seen either one of those. But I thought that it was the same guy that was in the Jacob's Ladder remake.
But you know, fucking, I'm very attuned to entertainment and psychology and shit. It was definitely designed to fucking scare black people. It was like for a black audience. But it worked, man. Fucking, I was white guys watching it, and I was going, yeah. They were doing all kinds of psychological fucking games, and it was intended to fucking scare the shit out of a black audience. Fucking creepy ass old white man, fucking living underneath your fucking house, coming after your young hot black wife.
Well, I mean, it creeps me out too.
Yeah, it was creepy. It was creepy, but they had it fucking. They had it. It was kind of fucking. I don't want to say it was not black product. I don't think black people made that movie. But it was intended for a black audience, I believe. It was a good movie, though. I liked it. It was spooky.
Like I said, it was over the top, but in the fun way that like a lot of the Lifetime movies.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun.
You know,
you don't take it seriously. You just enjoy it. They're playing games with you when they make this kind of. But anyway, I want to see that one again. Actually, that's one I would own. Isn't that weird?
Like I said, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "What? You'd buy that movie?" I said, "Yeah, I would. I'd buy that movie." I just liked it. And we watched years of movies at AMC, and that's still one of them that kind of stuck out. Yeah.
Well, as I said, because it was a little bit, I don't want to say it was like an anachronism, but it was one. They don't really make them like that that play in the theater anymore.
And Dennis Quaid fucking just chewed up the scenery over the fucking top.
Well, he knew that was what was required.
Yeah, over the fucking top.
That's what made it good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely like one of those cheesy ass Lifetime movies, like Mother May I Flirt with Danger or whatever the fuck that one was called.
Or Cape Fear or fucking Pacific Heights.
Cape Fear was a lot better than
Cape Fear was a lot better, but it was like a '90s movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna belittle it. Yeah, fucking. Lifetime does make a lot of shit like that, and I understand what you're talking about. It was better than that, I think. It was better.
It had probably a bigger budget.
It had a bigger budget, and it fucking had good acting. It was just a fucking weird movie. We mentioned it a couple times, and listeners went back and watched it. We're like, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
It's not like meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah. He goes, that's right. What's movie? It's called Intruder. See it. Sly. You'd like it, Sly. Okay, he's talking about, what about...
Sly said, The Intruder with Hilary Swank. When a young doctor suspects she may not be alone in her new Brooklyn loft, she learns that her landlord is... Ooh, yeah, see, there's another one like that.
Hey, there's another one, but that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about Intruder.
I know, but he's saying that that's another one with the same premise.
With Dennis Quaid. Okay, check that one out. That was almost kind of like a Florida movie. It looked like that was taking place in Florida. That looked like Dr. Matt's house.
I don't know where it was. I didn't think it was Florida, but...
No, it wasn't Florida, but it looked like Dr. Matt's house. Good.
Camp Guy said, when I was talking about the guy, like, spooging all over the furniture.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said, I would have to move to a totally new house and buy new furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would, too. I mean, I would just, like, keep thinking about it.
Yeah. Zach, you showed up, bro. I thought I had lost my fucking gay following. I was talking about you earlier on in the show.
His ears were burning. That's why. Yeah,
ears were burning up and gonna show up. Yeah. I thought I lost my gay fan base. I'm fucking with you, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably do Cape Fear at some point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Haven't seen it in a long time.
I looked it up the other day. I mean, you can watch it. It's not free though. You gotta.
Yeah.
But it's only like $3.99. I think.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember loving it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But like I said.
That was back when what's his name was good.
Yeah.
He's not any good anymore. That's like the last gangster movie anymore. That motherfucker soy. What's his name?
Which one are you
Robert
talking?
De Niro.
Which one are you talking about?
Robert De Niro kind of fucking over
What
the year.
movie are you talking about?
That last where he played that last gangster movie that he was in.
What, The Irishman?
I think it was called The Irishman.
I liked The Irishman.
It was, the thing is, he was too old for the role. And then they did the thing. It just, man, I ain't gonna talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. When he was stomping that other dude in the ground, you could tell. Why didn't they get a body double? You could tell that was an old man doing that. It's just ridiculous.
But that was the only thing that bothered me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that,
Yeah, that
was
just kind of blew the whole thing. For me, I was just like, man. And other than that, it was a good movie. Pretty good. But that era's over with. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. The Italian gangster movies are coming to an end.
Well, I mean, they made
Not until a new motherfucker shows
they
up.
made so many of them.
They made a lot of them, but you need a new director, and it's got to come back. And television series is the way to go now.
All right, so let's talk about this one
Yeah.
case, and then you can talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
So this is the case of Daniel Laplante. Now this shit, like I said, this sounds like a fucking horror movie. Now, I don't know. Now I'm going to say right here, I got this from like several sources, but I don't know like how much of this has become something of like an urban legend over time and like details have been exaggerated. Not really sure because this happened like back in 86, 87. So it could be that, it's kind of gotten some urban legend type things going on with it, but I don't know. So Daniel Laplante, he was a guy a couple years older than me. So he was born in 1970 in Townsend, Massachusetts. Now he had a real traumatic childhood. I guess he had been like sexually and emotionally abused by his dad, as well as like a bunch of other adults in his life. So he was kind of like fucked up from the get-go. And he was also not really all that great at school. He had dyslexia, so he didn't really, he didn't do that well in school, and he didn't really have that many friends. They thought he was a weirdo and creepy. And this is kind of fucked up too. And like I said, I don't know if this is true necessarily, but he got sent to, like when he was a teenager, he got sent to a school psychiatrist for his weirdness, and that psychiatrist also ended up molesting him, so and abusing him. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but so he also later got diagnosed with hyperactivity disorder. So he was not really having a good time, I guess. Now, so he pretty much turned to crime very, very early on. He first started out pretty small, like just breaking into people's houses and stealing shit. So by the time he was 15, he was breaking into people's houses and not only taking their shit while he was in there, but he was also leaving stuff behind because he just thought it was funny. Like he would go in the house, take people's stuff, and then he would like move things around or like leave like creepy messages and stuff like that so that people would know that he had been in there. So he seemed to like get off on having been in there and like having people know that, you know what I mean? Like playing mind games with them. Now in 1986 is when the shit that he's known for nowadays like started to happen. He somehow got the phone number of this other family. This is the 80s, so it's like nobody had cell phones or anything like that. So he gets this phone number from this of a family that like lived in the same area, the same street as him. It could be that he had broken into the house at some point and had gotten the phone number then. They don't really know. Now, this house actually belonged to a family. It was like a dad and like two daughters. And the daughters were 15 and 9. The daughters' names were Tina, that was a 15-year-old, and Karen, who was the 9-year-old. It was the Bowen family. Now, Danny calls up Tina, the 15-year-old. Now, he's only 15 or 16 at this point, too. So he kind of starts to like establish a little bit of a little phone relationship with Tina. like I said, they're kind of the same age. It's not like he's 40 or anything like that. Now, he basically tells her, he's like, oh, I saw you at school and I thought you were cute and a friend of yours gave me your phone number. That's what he said. He also totally lied about what he looked like. He said that he was this real, like a jock type. He was he was blonde and athletic and blah, blah, blah. And he also lived in the area. So Tina and Daniel, like, talk on the phone and, like, they're kind of hitting it off, you know what I mean? And so at one point, like, after they have, like, several conversations, like, he kind of asks her to go out on a date. And she says yes. She thinks that they're, you know, she thinks it's a mutual friend, you know what I mean? So he turns up at the Bowens' house. And Tina immediately sees this is not the person that he hasn't described himself correctly or accurately, obviously. She said, you know, he described himself as like this blonde, athletic jock dude. But no, he's this greasy, dark-haired, sloppy-looking motherfucker who kind of looked like, I don't know. But I've seen pictures of him. He doesn't look that bad, but, I mean, he's not ugly, but, yeah. He didn't look like he said he looked like. So Tina's just kind of like, what the fuck? But, okay, she already agreed to go on a date with him. So they go to this, like, fair in town or whatever. Now, she's there for about an hour, and then she's like, that's enough of this shit. And so she's basically like, yeah, I gotta go home. I gotta throw up or wash my hair or something like that. She makes some excuses and takes off. Now, during this date, Daniel discovered that Tina and her sister Karen, that their mom had recently died of cancer, which is why they only lived with their dad. Now, Daniel asked a whole bunch of questions about the kid, like he was super interested, which, like I said, a little bit of a red flag. He kept like asking her questions about, you know, how did you feel when she died, and like how much did she suffer before she died? It's shit like that, like weird ass questions like that, which is probably why after an hour she's like, yeah, I'm out of here. This is like fucking weird. And like I said, this was the 80s, so it's like people had, I guess the red flags weren't quite as like, you know what I mean? You'd let it like a lot more slide back then. Like nowadays, like immediately people would be like, nope, and they just like run the other way. But she was just like an hour, just like he's asking like all these fucking weird ass questions. Now, so what happens that, I guess, like, I don't know if he called her again after that, but she's like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be seeing that dude anymore because he's a fucking weirdo. Now, it so happened coincidentally, this is so fucking weird, you guys. Like, if they made this into a horror movie, no one would believe it. So, completely coincidentally, Tina and her 9-year-old sister, they decide that they're going to try to talk to their dead mom by doing a seance in the basement. Just, you know, like that's something that kids would do, like back in the 80s. So, they do the seance and like nothing immediately happens, but then they start hearing this knocking against their bedroom walls while they're sleeping. And the first thing they think is like, holy shit, like the seance, like that's our mom, like talking to holy crap, like she's communicating. And this is like the middle of the night. Like it wasn't in the middle of the seance. It was like later on, like after the seance was over, like after they'd gone to sleep. Then they started hearing like this knocking on the walls, and they thought that their mom was like communicating with them. This is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. So they get up and then they start talking to this, like thinking it's their mom, like asking her questions. It's like, hey, you know, 1 knock for a yes and 2 for no, shit like that. So yeah, they really thought they were talking to their mom. And this went on for a couple of evenings, until the knocking got so bad that it started like interrupting their sleep. It kept like waking them up. Now, also around this time period, objects in the house started disappearing. Like, for example, there would be some stuff like on a table, and then like the next morning it'd be like all over the floor. Furniture would be moved from one side of the room to the other, shit like that. Now, Karen and Tina, like I said, being kids in the 80s, they didn't immediately like think, oh, there's somebody in the house. They thought, well, maybe what we were talking to wasn't our mom. Maybe it was a demon, and it's like moving shit around, and we're in fucking trouble. Now, the dad, Frank, he just thinks that the 2 girls are fucking around, and he wants them to knock it off. He's like, why are you little brats like fucking moving all this furniture around and fucking the house up? You guys are doing it. And they're like, no, seriously, we did a seance and we think we summoned a demon, and now there's like all this shit like moving around the house and shit like that. But Frank is like, absolutely not. I'm not believing that kind of crap. He's like, your mother just died. I understand you're going through some shit, but it's like, please knock it off. Now, one night in early 1987, the knocking had started when Karen and Tina were in the front room. And like I said, at this point, the knocking on the walls it happened like so much that it was just like driving them crazy, like pretty much, because it was like waking them up. They couldn't get any sleep and shit like that. But this particular evening, I guess because they were in a different room, they realized that the knocking was actually not coming from the walls, but it was actually coming from the basement. So the two girls, I'm presuming that the dad wasn't home at the time. So the two girls, they go in the kitchen and they get a knife. And they're pretty brave, I mean, you gotta say. And they go creeping down to the fucking basement with a knife. 15-year-old girl and a 9-year-old girl. They go down there, and written on the basement wall in what appeared to be blood was something that said, "I'm in your room, come and find me." On the fucking wall. So the girls, intelligently, not like people in a horror movie, just said, fuck that, and ran out of the fucking house and went to the neighbor's house. So they wait for their dad to come home, and they're like, holy shit, Dad, go down to the fucking basement and check that shit out. So the dad, again, thinking that the girls are just like fucking around or like acting out because their mom died or something like that, he's like, you little bitches need to go to like counseling because you're having some problems. Now, I guess everything was like kind of chill for like a few weeks, but then kind of a similar thing happened, but weirder. So the girls hear knocking sounds again, like a couple weeks later, but this time the knocking was coming from behind Tina's bedroom wall. Now, at this point, like the girls go back down to the basement, and this time there was another message written there, and it said, "I'm back, find me if you can." Written on the wall in like red. What looked like blood. It wasn't, spoiler alert, but it looked like blood. So at this point, they tell their dad again. Their dad is just kind of like, yeah, you girls are just like you guys need to knock this shit off. Because they had, again, run to a neighbor's house and called him. And he marches in there and he's like, look, nobody's in here. But what ended up happening was that this time, when Frank, the dad, goes into the house, he sees more shit than what he had seen like originally. You know what I mean? So he's like, okay, now he finally believes it's maybe there's somebody else in here. So he goes into Tina's room. Now, on the wall in Tina's room, there was something that had been painted on the wall, again, like in red, and it said, "Marry me," on the wall. Then on the other side of the room, like Frank turns around, and there's a boy standing there who is wearing the dead mom's clothes. Like a wig and makeup and everything.
Damn.
And he's standing there with a fucking hatchet in his... Like I said, it's like a fucking horror movie. And this kid, like I said, was Daniel Laplante. Now, Frank, the dad, like jumps on the kid, but, the kid, like, kind of, like, managed to, like, wriggle away. And Frank was just kind of like, where the fuck did that little brat go? You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't figure out where he'd gone to. So he calls the cops, and the cops discovered that, first thing they discovered was that the messages that was actually ketchup. It wasn't blood. But so the cops, like, searched the house, and they found a crawl space behind a cupboard, which was built into the wall of Tina's bedroom. And when they opened this little hatch up, Daniel was in there, like curled up in there. So he'd been living in their house all this time. So they pull him out the crawl space and place him under arrest, obviously. Now, after they arrested him, they searched the rest of the house. Now, they found out that this little motherfucker had been living inside the walls, down in the basement, shit like that. What he had done was that the passageway, like the little cupboard that they'd found him in, he had actually kind of like tunneled around to like other areas of the house. And he had like drilled out some peepholes so he could like watch Tina and shit like that. And obviously he had been pretending to be the ghost of their mom, like just to fuck with them, because that's kind of what he did. And he was actually planning on, the reason that he was wearing the mom's clothes and like all that kind of stuff and the wig and everything was because he was gonna like freak him out by like pretending to be the ghost of the mom, because this dude like had some issues clearly. And they don't know, like, because he had a knife, they're not really sure what he was intending to do. So for the next year, he actually got put in juvie because, like I said, he was only 15 or 16 at the time. So he was in juvie until October of 1987 and then was released. Now, after he got released, he went back to, like, stealing shit. Now, during one of the robberies that he committed in November of 1987, he actually ended up stealing 2 handguns from a neighbor's house. And you can probably know how this shit's gonna go. So December 1st, 1987, Daniel breaks into another house, like around the same area of the Gustafson family, which is about a half a mile away from, you know, the house from before. So he breaks in there, and then he's kind of confronted by one of the people who lives in the house, who was a pregnant woman named Priscilla Gustafson, who was 33, and she also had 2 little kids named Abigail and William. Now, hours later, when Priscilla's husband, Andrew, came home, he comes home and he finds his wife face down on the bed. She had been raped and shot multiple times in the head at point blank range. They also found the 2 children, 5-year-old William, who'd been drowned in the upstairs bathtub. 8-year-old Abigail had been drowned in the downstairs bathtub. So this fucking Daniel kid had broken into another house, like in the same neighborhood, raped and killed a pregnant woman, and drowned 2 little children. So great. So I don't really know, like, okay. So obviously he gets arrested. They found like a bunch of stuff like in the house, like restraints and shit like that. What they think happened was that he broke into the house for whatever reason and held the victims at gunpoint and then restrained them, killing the mom first because obviously she was the biggest threat. She was an adult. I mean, like I said, he was just a teenager. Now, the authorities like pretty much figured out immediately that this was Daniel Laplante who had done this. And they couldn't find him at first, though, so it's like they had to do, like, this big manhunt. So they actually, what ended up happening was that he went a couple towns over and then broke into another house and kidnapped a woman and took her car. Now, the woman actually escaped, like, got away from him, jumped out of the car or whatever. And then later on, somebody saw Daniel Laplante, because obviously his picture was all over the news by this point, because he was, you know, a fugitive. So somebody saw it and reported it. So they actually found him in a dumpster, like he was hiding in there, like 48 hours after the manhunt had started. And they actually found hair belonging to Abigail Gustafson, one of the little kids that was drowned. They found it on his clothing, which, you know, obviously evidence that he had something to do with the murder. So he actually got sentenced, a year after that, he got sentenced to 3 life sentences for the murder of the Gustafson family. Now, he's in prison forever. They're never letting him out. And it's said that he doesn't really show any remorse for his actions. He obviously has a lot of mental disorders, clearly. But what he tried to do, they said from 1988 to 2014, he tried to sue the courts a whole bunch of times for violating his rights, which is fucking rich. Okay. He says one of the lawsuits, and this just makes me want to punch him. One of the lawsuits is like, oh, well, you guys are violating my religious rights because I'm a practicing Satanist and I required some materials in order to carry out some satanic rites, but you guys wouldn't let me. So
Yeah.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. Oh my God, I just want to punch you right in the throat for that kind of crap. It's bad enough that you have to, like I said, and I've said this before, look, man, it's bad enough if you're a serial killer. It's bad enough that you like fucking murder people in cold blood. That's bad enough, okay? You don't have to like put the fucking cherry on top of the shit sundae by also being this fucking edgelordy motherfucker that's just kind of like, you're denying my rights. I'm a Satanist and I should be allowed to just fuck off with that. Just fuck off. You know what I mean? At least have the decency to shut the fuck up and just be in prison. Just shut the fuck up and leave everybody else alone. Don't come out and like run in your mouth. God damn it. You're just like compounding your error. You know what I mean? You're never getting out. Shut up. So it's just kind of like, okay, so in 2017, the motherfucker comes forward and he's appealing for a reduced sentence. So like I said, they gave him 3 life sentences. I don't think there's any possibility of parole. But he comes out and this is the quote that he said. I do not have the words to I'm kind of trying to be sarcastic because I know he doesn't mean it. I do not have the words to fully express my profound sorrow, but I'm truly sorry for the harm I have caused. From the very essence of who I am, from the depth of my soul, I am sorry. Yeah, right. No, you're not. So apparently they had like a couple psychiatrists, kind of interview him and shit like that, and they're like, that bitch's not sorry. Don't you fucking let him out. So they didn't. So he's going to be in the jail the rest of his life. And like I said, he went in when he was, 16, 17, something like that.
He wasn't made for the outside world. He's got to be locked up.
Yeah. I mean, the shit that he was doing, and I'm not saying that it was right what happened to him as a kid. If all that shit that happened when he was a kid, like that he got like sexually abused and all that, that's fucked up, okay? But that doesn't really excuse the shit that you do like later on either. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people go through like bad shit when they're kids, and it's bad whenever it happens to anybody, but that doesn't give you license to go around fucking just doing what the fuck you want, you know?
I wouldn't trust that dude.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just, at this point, they're like, the psychiatrists that have like talked to him have advised that please do not ever let him out because the boy is not right. So, you know what I mean? Yep. The sad thing about it is that the husband of the pregnant woman that got killed, he actually died in 2014. They said that on his deathbed, the last thing that he said before he died was, "Don't ever let him out. He should rot in prison."
Yeah.
And so if that was really his last words, that's hardcore. But you know what I mean? But I guess they're never going to, which like rightfully so. And like I said, look, if you didn't do like violent crime or shit like that, I'm like a big advocate of like, don't lock people up for shit that's not violent or anything. But this motherfucker,
crazy. This
is exactly the kind of person that they should never, ever, ever let out because Jesus Christ. And I don't think they're ever going to. But yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and shut it down? You hungry at all?
A little bit, I guess.
I got some more pizza left if you want some.
Yeah, I might. At least I'll have some.
Okay. And no, the only other fucking thing I can say is that I was talking about in the chat with Sly. The only movie I can recommend based on this would have been Intruder, and Intruder involves a motherfucker hiding in your house. Okay.
I think, like I said, I think there have been a lot of movies like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I was thinking about this, and I wanted to bring this up. I don't know who or when the term phrogging was coined for what this is, because the thing about it, when we were thinking about doing this show, I said I know there's a word, I know they like did like a neologism for that, and I couldn't like remember what it was, and then I looked it up. I'm like, phrogging, I don't like that, but because they're like, because they're like hopping from place to place like a frog. I'm like, well, not really. That's not usually what's happening. And I was kind of like, surely they could think of a better, more sinister sounding word than that. Yeah. I mean, that's just like a dumb... Who the fuck coined that?
All right, Sly said he saw the Intruder fucking sequel trailer and says he likes... what did he say? He said, I love Michael and Dennis. Looks great. Wow, yeah. That was 2019. We saw that in the theater, at AMC Theaters. And for that year, there were a few good movies in 2019. But for me, of the ones that I didn't expect to really like, that one stuck out. Some people say, well, man, it's kind of a tired idea, and that's kind of... It didn't matter to me. I had a good time watching it, and it was well made.
I mean, you could argue that, like, everything's been
like
done.
That. Everything's been done.
So it's just kind of like, all you have to... Look, I don't care if it's been done. Just entertain me.
Talking about this makes you want to go back and watch that movie. I wanted to buy that on Blu-ray after we saw it, and I never got around to it. But I want to buy that for my collection, but I got to see what the prices are.
FB555 said unlawful entry with Ray Liotta. Yeah, that's another one.
I didn't see it.
Rabbit Ferris said frog squat. It's just a weirder version of squatting, so phrogging probably still could apply. I know. It's like, I get it. I get like where the nomenclature comes from, but it's like, I don't know. It seems like... I think the thing that makes me mad about it is that it's not... One, it's not entirely accurate, and two, it doesn't sound sinister enough. It almost kind of like makes it sound like funny, and I'm just like, look, if some motherfucker was living in your attic and you didn't know that, then it's absolutely not funny. So it's like, I kind of feel like it should have like a scarier name, you know? And it's just like, I was kind of like, I don't know. I'm like, can we maybe do something? Remember that movie we reviewed not too long ago with creepy ass Klaus Kinski in it called Crawl Space? I was just kind of like, could we call it like Kinskiing or I don't know, like something like that? Because it's like something that would like kind of convey the gravitas of the situation, like how fucking horrifying it would be. Because Phrogging just sounds kind of cute. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, frogs. I like frogs. But it doesn't sound scary. Now, if Klaus Kinski was like looking through my vents, yeah, that would be scary. If you guys didn't see Crawl Space, we reviewed that movie not too long ago. I think there's more than one movie called Crawl Space actually, but there was one with Klaus Kinski that we talked about.
And I'm talking this live.
Yeah, John Gore said, I know the Klaus Kinski Crawl Space from '85. Yeah, we reviewed it probably like a couple months ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Did we review it or did just I review it?
Which one? Crawl Space?
Maybe I just reviewed it.
Yeah,
I think I just reviewed it.
I wanted to see it again.
I think I just reviewed it.
She saw it without me. That was one of the ones that I wanted to see again.
Well, you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah, because
I just watched it because I felt like watching it, and then I just made a video.
I've already seen it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid, and it freaked me out.
It's a weird ass fucking Klaus Kinski fucking flick.
See, I would argue that having Klaus Kinski living in your crawl space would be even scarier than having Gary Busey in your
Klaus's fucking pervy daughter raping ass up in your fucking crawl space up in your house.
Now, see, that would be a good topic for discussion. Who would be the creepiest, worst person to be living in your attic without you knowing about it? I mean, I could think of lots of people.
Yeah, I saw that shit. It said crawl space was creepy. Yeah, and Klaus, allegedly, Klaus was fucking doing his older daughter. Not Natasha, but the other one. She came out and said he was fucking horrible. She, he was a crazy person. He was fucking crazy.
Yeah, everybody knows he was a crazy
fucking crazy.
Person. I mean, the whole. I still want to watch. I still want to watch that documentary.
Yeah.
My Best Fiend.
Yeah.
About Werner Herzog and him and Klaus Kinski.
There's some kind of magnetic about those guys. Werner Herzog was not a crazy person though. I think he was actually just a professional. Klaus Kinski was fucking crazy. You know.
Yeah.
He was fucking crazy.
I mean, Werner kept working with him, and they were kind of friends, sort of, but it's just kind of like... He was almost kind of like his muse in a fucked up way.
Yeah.
But I think he absolutely knew that he was crazy. And he was, like, super, super difficult to work with, too, because he was crazy.
Yeah.
So...
Yes, I didn't know this. What the fuck? Klaus was a nut. Yeah.
Klaus was a nut.
Evidently, according to his oldest daughter...
Yeah, I've heard some stories.
I don't remember her name, but evidently he had kind of trained her to be his slave, like a sex slave.
I could see that.
Yeah, weird shit.
Just from the roles that he's like, he seems, and I like a lot of movies he's in, but I think like most of the movies that he's in that are good are playing on his natural creepiness.
He's a weird dude.
Whenever he's in a movie and they try to make him like a normal person, I'm like, please don't do that. There's no way that like Klaus Kinski could act like a normal person. Yeah. He's just like, he can't do it.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
And I remember being a kid watching Cat People, fucking with his daughter, Natasha Kinski. She was just cute as shit, man. And fucking, I hope that, I don't want to say, I hope that she fucking kind of escaped that fate. You know what I mean? Because their dad was fucking crazy, and I hate to say it, focus it all on her older sister, but somebody should have fucking arrested that dude, but nobody knew. That's some weird shit.
And that's kind of the fucked up thing is like I think a lot of that was going on back then, and it's just. It's not like now where it would get reported. It's like back then, it's like a lot of times it was just kind of swept under the rug. And not always like, it wasn't always sexual abuse, but sometimes it was like physical abuse.
Yeah.
Like you'd kind of like, smack your kids around or your wife or something like that. And no one really did that much about it or took it like all that seriously.
And if you were a famous artistic motherfucker who had a bunch of pull, you could get away with stuff.
Well, it was just like anything else.
He's just artistic.
If you had money or were famous, I mean, you can always get away with shit that regular ass motherfuckers are not going to get away with.
Right.
Because people think, well, when you're famous, people think they know you. So they're like, oh, well, you know,
He's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He would never do anything like that. I'm like, yeah, but you don't know that person.
Yeah.
Actually, even people you know can be doing all kind of like nefarious shit and you don't know about it.
Right.
We hear that all the time. It's like, look, BTK had a fucking wife and kids. They didn't know they didn't know what he was doing.
No.
And he'd been doing that shit for years. So
Gary Ridgway was going out screwing dead and rotten hookers. They've been rotten for fucking weeks. And then he'd go back to his wife, and the wife didn't know. With all that stink on him, he'd jump down into water and get it all off of him and then fucking get dressed again. That nasty little fucker.
That's what I'm saying. So you never know. Like, even if it's, I mean, much less it being famous people, but it's like even people you know that you think that you know, like famous, like, you know, people you've been married to or like in a relationship, they could be doing all kind of shit that you don't know about.
And here's the weirdest thing about fucking Gary Ridgway. The cops.
Can't trust nobody, I'm saying.
Here's the weird. Gary Ridgway is a weak little man. All right. He's just a weak little fucking demonic little man. The cops asked him, this is, but she had been, you know, like, but you went back and had sex with her? Yeah, I went. But she had been dead for weeks. He's like, yeah. And they were like, why are you having sex? Why'd you have sex with the dead ones, you know, for weeks? And he was like, well, because it was free. Because it was free.
For the record,
because it was free.
For the record, that's what Tom says about why he puts jelly and hot sauce on his biscuit at Waffle House.
It's free
because it's free.
But
that's not what you say about dead hookers. That's just
you
not.
put hot sauce and jelly on your fucking on your sausage biscuit
at
because
Waffle
it's
House.
free
Because
and it tastes good. You don't screw a fucking hooker that's been dead 2 weeks in the fucking summer heat because it's free. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I mean, they have. I'm sorry, but they have sex toys. Is he not aware? They're very
in his mind. In his mind, it's
they're very
free,
easy to get to. Like, you know, they're not expensive.
Yeah.
You can get even nowadays. They have ones that are like super realistic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Sly's talking about Patty Duke and her situation with her dad. Yeah. You never would have suspected back then that Patty Duke. She was like Little Miss America back in the 50s.
That's what I'm saying.
And her dad was tearing it up.
That's what I said. Well, like a lot of, and particularly back then, because it was very, very important to like maintain this kind of image, which, like, I'm really glad those days are gone, honestly. Like, I would rather have people like just give like too much information and shit. But like back then, like nobody talked about it. Like all kind of like that.
They wouldn't have believed you.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and the reason they wouldn't have believed you is because nobody talked about it.
Yeah. They didn't think it was possible.
Right. And it's like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, like, keeping everything under wraps like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people that grew up in that era probably had all kind of fucked up shit happen to them, but you didn't talk about it. My grandmother used to say stuff like that. She's like, oh, stuff like that was going on, but we just didn't talk about it. That's what she said.
Sly's going, that's right, it's free. He's talking about putting jelly on the tots at Jim's. That's right, that's right, Sly. You have to understand something. It's not that you're black, Sly, it's that you're Southern. Because Southerners do that to fucking all come. We're going to put the fucking jelly and the fucking hot sauce on.
Well, it's just all there on the table.
It's right there.
It's like, you might as well.
It's right there. They call it, up north, they call it soul food. We just call it food here. What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking greens, fucking, you know, fucking country gravy. Hell yeah. Fucking, you know what I mean? It's not soul food here. It's just food. That's how we eat. Up north, they call it soul food. It's fucking funny.
Although I think at this point, like I said,
I think they understand.
That's what I mean. Since everybody's like foodies now,
they understand.
I think everybody is just kind of like, well, shit, man. I was watching an episode of the new season of MasterChef, and they were doing their whole challenge, which I was thinking this would probably be really hard. But they had to do a fusion dish with Southern food. They all had to do Southern food, but then they had to mix it with another country's cuisine that they just like picked out of a globe or something. Yeah. So it's like, so you had to do like fusion, for example, like of Southern food and like Japanese food or like Southern food and Thai food or something like that. Some of them were disasters, but a lot of them turned out really good. I think the guy that won was like Southern food and Jamaican food, which, like I said, seemed a little bit easy. Yeah. But because it's not really that far apart, but
not that far apart, really.
That's what I'm saying.
We can go down to Sanford and you can get fucking soul food restaurant and fucking African Nigerian food, and they're real similar. And
that's what I'm saying. It's not massive difference.
No, real similar. What was I gonna say about that shit? Fucking you can go on YouTube and go look up Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, he's a fucking famous black historian, American historian, and he'll fucking just go on about how there wasn't any difference really between black and white Southerners. Black people can move north for many generations, but they're still Southerners in the way that they act and what they eat and fucking how they talk. And y'all got that from us. And it all kind of came from fucking tribal Ireland mixed in with fucking Haiti and stuff. It's all kind of just mixed together. But we got real culture, you know. I'd say that because, you know what I mean, I'm ethnocentric. But fucking, because they got up north, it's a little bit more Scandinavian and more British style, and you have Italians and stuff, but in the South, it's just kind of Scottish, Irish, Germanic, and African, and it's all just kind of blended together into one thing, you know. There were differences, but they weren't very big, and Thomas Paine will tell you where it all comes from.
Danny Rolling said, for Tom and Jenny, out of all these Phrogging hiders you've mentioned, which one had the best shelter setup? Most of them weren't really that good because I think most of them weren't really that long term. So I will say that the guy that was secretly living in the house with all the other college students, like in Ohio, because he had an actual kind of room that sort of had a quasi bed and a bathroom, even though the bathroom apparently didn't work all that well. So he actually had sort of like a room, even though it was just like closet size. The rest of them, it was either like a crawl space or they were just like sleeping under insulation or like under some stolen jackets and stuff like that in a fucking attic, which I'm sure wasn't really that great. So I'm going to say it was the University of Ohio guy, Jeremy. That was his name.
Wait, was it Thomas Paine?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Zach said, now I'm trying to imagine what Cajun-style sushi would be like, and not going to lie, it actually sounds kind of good. I was actually really curious. I was glad that they actually did that challenge, because I'm sitting there going, man, some of the countries they came up with, I was like, God, how would you fucking do that? Like, some of them it seemed like kind of easy. Like I said, like Southern food and Jamaican food, that doesn't seem like that much of a stretch. And some of the other ones, like I think the ones that won, or the ones that were the top ones, were the Southern and Jamaican, Southern and Spain, and I think the girl that did Southern food crossed with Thai, which actually came out like strangely good. Or no, maybe hers didn't fuck. I don't know, but it was something like that. But I don't remember what. What?
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Thomas Paine. His name is Thomas Sowell. That's him right there, Thomas Sowell, Sowell. Thomas Paine was from the 1700s. Thomas Sowell, listen to him. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas Paine was the guy.
Yeah.
That was a completely different dude.
Somebody mentioned him earlier on today when I was talking about revolutionary stuff. Somebody mentioned that it was Thomas Sowell, Sowell.
So we went from talking about banging dead hookers to talking about putting jelly on tater tots.
Yeah.
And then I guess that was my fault that time, because that's what you always said about like putting stuff on your food at Waffle House, was because it was free. I was like, oh yeah, that's what Gary Ridgway said about banging dead hookers too.
You can go right there. The origin of redneck culture. Okay, he does things on that and everything. You'll see. Yeah.
But what I was saying was that I do kind of feel like there was, because we were talking about Klaus Kinski, I do kind of feel like there was like so much fucked up shit like happening in families like back then, but you just didn't talk about it. So I'm just like really glad that we've gotten past that point where now it's like okay to talk about it. Because I kind of feel like for a long time people just like horrible shit happened, and that's why everybody was so fucked up, man. I'm not saying people aren't fucked up nowadays, of course they are, but it's worse if you had all this shit. If you had grown up and were like sexually abused, for example, and nobody talked about that kind of stuff, or you didn't have anybody that you could tell about it, or you couldn't go to like a therapist and like get your feelings out about it or anything like that. You just had to like pretend everything was fine because you had to like keep up appearances and stuff. I mean, I can't imagine what that would do to you over years and years of like trying to like pretend like everything was normal. So like I said, that is like completely fucked up, and I'm just like really glad that like we're not expecting people to do that anymore to a large extent, because that's messed up. It's like totally not healthy. Let's see. Yeah, they were talking about that show. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you've gotten all quiet.
I'm drunk.
You've gotten all quiet.
I'm very drunk.
Are you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you gonna pee on the floor?
No,
again?
I'm not gonna pee on the floor in my sleep. I never did pee on the floor. I was dreaming that I was peeing on the floor.
But you know that I'm gonna keep bringing that up though.
Yeah,
because...
she's fucking sleepwalking and shit.
Because you almost do. Well, yeah, but that was the first time that
Yeah,
happened.
had you not stopped me, it might have happened.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it might have happened. But
like I said, I don't know how long you were standing there.
I think I was standing there a long time. But fucking, I was.
I don't know though, because my spidey senses like woke me up, and I was just kind of like, "Ooh, there's some weird shit going on in here."
Yeah, it was weird. I had been slamming all those fucking mojitos at the fucking club, which we got to go to on Friday. I'm looking forward to Friday.
That's right. Yeah, Friday's Momentum One.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do the sidetrack show on Friday, but we're gonna be going out afterwards. So we can't get too drunk on the show because we gotta go out afterwards. And hopefully, I don't have to drive home like I did last time, because, like I said, I haven't seen you that drunk in a long time, and they don't even have real liquor at that place.
No.
He got that fucked up on like beer and those little.
Those fucking stupid ass fucking Bacardi mojito cans, but I was slamming them.
Because he's just like, oh, there's hardly any alcohol in these, so he drank like fucking, I don't even know how many.
I was slamming it like it was water, and it fucking
he was like
fucked me up.
Incoherent, like at the end of the night. He was like, incoherent.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Sly. He was a Yale professor, Yale educated. So Thomas Sowell, he'll tell you the truth about fucking where all this shit came from. African American culture is Southern, and it was related to just redneck culture, and then it says where that comes from, and they were not. It was not a culture based upon legalism. It was based upon honor. You pissed a motherfucker off, they came after you. It was tribal, and he explains all of it, and the same common mentality. The same diet, it's the same culture. And you trace it back to basically primeval Scotland and Ireland is where a lot came from. It wasn't Africa. It's just that y'all was with us down there, and we were a bad influence on black people. Black people picked it up real quick. Even the Ebonics is fucking Southern. Southern people talk like that. Didn't matter what color they were. Now, there were differences between the two, but it was that same basic version of English, and it had a Scottish, Irish, Germanic root to it. Because the southern states, especially Mississippi, Alabama, were kind of like South Africa of the United States. But Sowell will tell you all about it, where it all came from. And then after the war, black people moved north, taking it with them as they went. And Northerners couldn't deal with that shit, but they couldn't deal with us down here either. It's always been a rebel culture, a culture of defiance.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you.
Just tuned in. We'll have to listen to the rest later. This is a creepy topic. Yeah, it's going to be in two parts because we did like an hour or so of the first show, and then our power went out because it was a bad storm. So we had to like start another one. So it'll be like in two parts. Sly asked, "What's a mojito?"
A mojito is a fucking great drink that actually comes from Puerto Rico. Isn't it right? Puerto Rico, right? Yeah.
I thought it was Cuban.
No, I think it's Puerto Rican.
Or somewhere around there. I don't know.
It's one of the islands off the coast of Florida here. It's a light drink.
It's very refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
Very refreshing.
It's rum and sugar and lemon juice in soda water with lime.
And mint.
And mint. But in Puerto Rico, it's not mint. It's just an herb that's like mint. Here we use mint. Think of a lemony, minty Sprite. Kind of like that.
But with rum in it.
Rum in it. Right. It's real good.
They are good.
They're
It's a
very
good summer drink.
Yeah. They're not real strong. You can drink a lot of them, and you can drink them fast. Mojito.
And I mean, Barbarella, which, like I said, when it was downtown, they obviously had like the full liquor license, so we could get like cocktails and stuff. But the place they moved to, they only have like the canned stuff. So you can get like a canned mojito, like the Bacardi has one, which are actually like pretty good. I don't mind them, but like I said, they're only like 5% alcohol. Zach says, I wish there were more alcoholic drinks I could get into. I usually find them either too bitter or too sweet, and always disgusting. I'm not really sure how to help you. I don't know. I'm just I like Screwdrivers, which is just vodka and orange juice. I like some flavored vodkas, which I really like cherry vodka and Sprite. I really like that combo. I like Jack and Coke sometimes. I like gin and tonic sometimes, although those are very, very tart. They're very tart. So I can only drink like one or two of those, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to barf if I drink any more of these because they're very acidic. But I don't really know. Like, a lot of the drinks that I like are kind of sweet. I like kind of sweeter ones more than kind of bitter ones. Some of the drinks we like at the club, I used to really like Red Deaths, but what the fuck's in those?
Everything. Everything. The Red Death was. You look at it.
It tastes like fruit punch.
Tastes like fruit punch, but
it is
nothing. No mixer in there. It's all alcohol.
And it's all the alcohol.
It's all of it.
It's like vodka, rum.
Yeah.
There might be tequila. Is there tequila?
It's kind of like Long Island iced tea, where
it doesn't taste like there's alcohol in it, but it's almost all alcohol. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah, you drink 3 of those, and you're fucking.
And you're just like laying there going, ha.
Yeah. The only thing in there that's
but it doesn't taste like alcohol.
The only thing that was not alcohol in that was grenadine syrup. They put a little bit of grenadine, but everything else was some kind of alcohol.
Yikes.
Yeah.
They make a lot of drinks like that. There's one called the Red Death is what I usually get because it's red, obviously. But they have one called, what's the melon one?
That one was called liquid marijuana.
Liquid marijuana.
Liquid marijuana. That's another one. It's kind of like a Long Island iced tea.
But it has like melon liqueur in it.
Yeah, and it tastes. You would never think that. You would think it was a weak drink. Everything in there is some kind of hard liquor.
So yeah, you drink like 2 of those and you are fucked up.
You're fucked up. It's all hard liquor with maybe like a few liqueurs. Like one of them I think might be Midori.
Yeah.
And but the rest of it,
like I said, there's a Tokyo tea, which is also kind of green.
Yeah, it's green and it tastes like Japanese sweet green tea.
Like green tea.
But it's like a Long Island iced tea. It's all hard liquor. And those things will put you under the fucking table. Because you can drink them fast. They're sweet. You think, oh, there's nothing in this. No, that's all alcohol.
Yeah, I've gotten in trouble with
it's
it.
all
And even though, like, I know... Because I kind of feel like there's a whole subgenre of cocktails that their whole existence is, like, supposed to fool you.
Yeah.
They're like, it doesn't taste like an alcoholic drink necessarily. Like I said, like, a Red Death kind of just tastes like fruit punch. But it's like 4 or 5 different alcohols with just like a tiny bit of like juice and liqueur in it. But that tiny bit of juice and liqueur like negates all of the other alcohols, so you can drink it and it doesn't really taste like alcohol. But like I said, you drink like 2 of them, like 2 of like a double size, and you are completely fucked up.
Yeah. Completely fucked up.
So they kind of fool you like that. Peach schnapps with OJ. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sly says, I like cherry and vodka. Yeah, I honestly like a lot of the flavored vodkas. Not so much, I mean, I like the cherry ones. The grapefruit one is good. I even like the lemon one, although you gotta watch because, like I said, that's also very tart. And if I drink too many, like, real tart things, it'll kind of make me feel nauseated. But, you know what I mean. Sly said, my ex loved Long Island iced tea. Yeah.
Yeah, those things will put you under the fucking table.
They will, yeah. Because, like I said, it seems like...
You're like, oh, there's nothing to this. Yeah.
I think that's what gets you in trouble, because it doesn't taste like it's that strong. But it is. It's absolutely, like, way stronger.
It's all alcohol.
Well, Danny Rolling said Sex on the Beach is the manliest of all mixed drinks.
Yeah, that's the manliest of all. Of course it is.
Those are actually pretty good, actually.
Man, there's been fucking around here. They'll serve some shots that'll fucking put you under the table, like snickerdoodles. Fucking
yeah, those are good.
what was the other one? The oatmeal cookies.
That was actually my favorite shot.
Fuck, man.
Oatmeal cookie shot and the lemon drop shot were probably my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody offered, because every now and then
come up and they go shots for
everybody.
Yeah,
It's like so. Usually I'd be like oatmeal cookie or lemon drop.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite ones.
Oatmeal cookie was like rum chata and Fireball and Bailey's. And it tastes just like
It tastes just like an oatmeal cookie.
Yeah, man, those things are good.
An oatmeal cookie that will make you pass out.
Yeah. Because they start handing those things out when you're already trashed. You're already trashed.
See, that was the problem. It's just that, and I'm not averse to, like, having people buy me shots. Hey, right. I will take free alcohol any day of the week.
Yeah, but it's fucking $1.30.
But by the time that everybody's getting all, like, fucking generous with it, I'm like, look, I've already had way too much liquor by this point, and it's like, can't even see at this point, and now y'all are buying me more, and I feel bad like turning it down.
Yeah, and that snickerdoodles was fucking something like rum shata and Fireball. And
because the snickerdoodle,
like cinnamony.
Yeah, because the snickerdoodle is like a cinnamon cookie, right?
Yeah,
I've made snickerdoodles before.
Yeah,
they're not super strong, but they're like a cinnamony kind of like soft kind of cookie. They're really good snickerdoodles. Alaskan pipeline shots are good. I don't think I've ever had one of those, actually.
That one. We might have it under a different name.
All right, I'm looking to see if there's anything else that has to be... I love the cookies. Always have since I was a kid. Yeah, but there is a snickerdoodle shot.
It's also a snickerdoodle shot. Yeah.
I'm not real into Fireball, though. Like I said,
it's good as a mixer.
I like cinnamon as a concept. Like, I'll eat cinnamon toast all day long, but Fireball...
Yeah.
And anything that's, like, cinnamon flavored, like Fireball or Red Hots or anything like that, just gives me, like, immediate heartburn.
Yeah.
Like cinnamon... If I eat cinnamon toast, I don't get heartburn. But anything that's, like, cinnamon flavored will give me heartburn, so...
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and shut it down. Sly, go ahead and watch Intruder. You'll like that shit. Yeah, I'm fucked up. I'm going to have to start making this something to eat. Go ahead and shut it down, Jeff.
Danny said one more case. I don't have any more, though.
We don't have any more cases.
I mean, I did so many. So many. Wait, how many was it? Like 5, 6, 10?
5 or 6
No, I did more than 5 because I had 5 to start with. I think I actually did like 9 or 10, to be honest. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to be back on Friday night doing our sidetrack show. Like I said, we're going to try to not get too fucked up on the Friday night show because we got to go to Memento Mori.
Afterwards.
We're
going to be partying. We're going to go to the club after.
So we're going to pre-party and then we're going to party afterwards.
We probably should start it maybe a little bit early and we'll go light on drinking because fucking...
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it on
because
the night.
Like I said, and I'm still going to bring it up, like last time we went to Barbarella, which is where Memento Mori is...
I'm trying to fucking piss on shit.
You're trying to pee on the floor.
And walk around the house fucking sleeping.
And I had to drive, and I was not happy about it because I had to take the fucking boots off because I can't drive in those boots. I had to drive in my bare feet.
I learned respect for the fucking Bacardi fucking...
respect the canned Bacardi, 5% alcohol.
5%
because if you basically think, well, see, that's the thing. It's just kind of like this is just kind of like the same thing. You don't want to get a fight with like some motherfucker that's like this little skinny. Oh, that he's not gonna do anything,
right?
And then like he just comes in like under your defenses and like punches you in the nuts or some shit like that. That was kind of what happened. You're like, this shit's so weak. How could this possibly bring down the great Thomas Ross? And then, like, at the end of the night, you were just, like, yelling and waving your hands around, and people were like, please, Jenny, tell me you're driving home.
I had the cute she-males trying to pull me into the men's room.
That's what I mean. And that you're having, you know, beautiful,
and I'm telling Jenny,
beautiful trans women,
trying to fucking
pulling you into the bathroom.
Trying to blow,
And trying to,
yeah.
You know.
I showed pictures already. I showed pictures last time. It is all true.
It was a crazy night.
We don't make shit up. This shit is all true. It is all true.
I mean, you make shit up, but...
I don't make shit up.
You generally say if you're making shit up.
Yeah, if I make shit up, I'll tell you I make it up. But no, if it's real, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you if it's real.
I've told you before, like, we should probably write a book. We've had, like, some weird-ass shit.
Well, no, when they're saying, no, trans women aren't beautiful, we talking about, no, there was a cute one. I'm going to show you. Oh, shit, I don't have it on this phone.
She was beautiful.
Yeah, she was cute. I didn't know.
Her name was Ashley. She's a little weird though.
She's
I mean,
funny.
she was weird because she was trying to
She was trying to impress everybody.
Well, she was trying to get me involved in like some witchcraft ceremonies, which I was just kind of okay, cool.
And I was like,
all right.
She was only 23.
I know she was
She was a baby. But I didn't know it was girl. I mean, see, I didn't know it was. I thought it was a girl. I didn't know it was a.
Like I said, I didn't know she was trying. I was just gonna. You told me later, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I said, I got a girlfriend. I can't do this shit. And she goes, I know, I love her. I'm gonna fuck her too. And I was like, oh, she's bisexual. And she's like, oh yeah. And
she's omnisexual.
I said, you can't have any of this until you okay it through Jenny. And she was like, oh, so I got to go through channels. I got to go through proper channels. And I says, yeah, you can go through proper channels. And she's, I'm going to talk to her. And she stormed off to come talk to you. And then fucking her
she never
date.
did this.
Well, no, her date grabbed her. What was his name?
Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty.
Our friend Scotty.
Scotty grabbed her and said, come on, let's go. Because fucking she was trying to run off of both of us.
That happens a lot.
They tried to run off of both of us, yeah.
Why does that happen?
Because Scotty had brought her out on a date. It was ridiculous.
Like, we used to talk about this a lot. We're like, I don't know.
Ridiculous.
I don't know what it is.
Ridiculous.
About. Maybe
we're
it's
like
just,
a power couple.
Maybe it's just like people that we know, but it's just kind of like every time like somebody brings some new virgin motherfucker.
Yeah, and all of a sudden
to the bar.
Yeah,
and then all of it, and then they introduce them to us. All of a sudden, they just want to like come home and like sleep in between us for some reason.
That was
and I'm not really sure why that is. We've had it happen so many times. It can't be an accident.
Yeah,
it can't be an accident.
I mean,
I don't know what kind of energy we're giving off.
I don't know.
I'm not doing anything on purpose.
We're just friendly to everybody. And
maybe that's what it is.
Toby
I don't know what it is.
Toby, he's like one of my best buddies from the fucking club. He's a leather daddy. He's fucking power top leather
he's
daddy.
He's one of those alpha gays like you were talking about earlier.
He's my boy. We've known him for about 10 years. Okay. I've shown all kinds of pictures of him. All these fucking women loving on this dude. He's a fucking handsome man. He shows up with some young dude that he picked up off the internet. And I'm talking to both of them. And then this dude fucking asking me everything about anabolics and all kinds of working out. And the next thing you know, this dude's fucking like, I don't know why I say he's in love with me, but he's just, he won't talk to fucking Toby anymore. He wants to hang out with me, and Toby gets mad. He's like, I ain't here with that bitch. I said, Toby, what are you talking about, man? I'm just talking. And he thinks I stole his boy.
Well, we met him at the Temple of Mercy show, yeah?
Yeah, it's at the Temple of Mercy.
That's right.
And
he seemed nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were mostly talking.
Yeah, and Jenny was right next to me. He knows that I got a girlfriend and I'm straight and shit. It's just that.
I mean, I was right there just like drinking water and watching.
Yeah, it's just,
You guys were talking about like,
Toby,
steroids and stuff, so I just kind of tuned out.
Because he's like, yeah, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start doing this. This says, you turn out good, this and that, and this and that. And he goes, I like muscle. Shit like that. And I says, you need to get that bitch fucking. Now Toby's in training. He got a trainer and everything. So that's going to work.
I thought he was coming over here.
No, because it's too far for him. He says it's too far for a drive.
That's what. He's
got a gym near his house. He fucking.
I mean, he got a trainer. Kind of far. Does he still live in that house?
I don't think. I think it is that one.
Okay, that is far.
It's too far.
That is far.
It's too far.
If he still lives where I think he lives, then that is far.
He's going into training.
That's like half an hour away, or 45 minutes.
Let me get that bitch on HRT. Toby's as cool as shit. He's cool as shit.
He's really cool. I love him.
Yeah. Fucking, he's just like something off a fucking Judas Priest album.
Well, it's like not even that. He's just like a good dude. He's just a good dude. He's a good dude to like hang out with. You know what I mean?
He's fun. A lot of fun. We've just known him for so long. I fucking tried to talk him straight. He wouldn't go straight. He'd be out there fucking dancing.
These women loving him. Let me flip this around. Can anybody talk you gay?
No, they can't. They can't.
Well, see, that's what I mean. We'll stop doing that to other people.
What I'm saying is he's out there fucking dancing, and these women are just fucking dripping off this dude. Okay? And I said, Toby, you got so much to
Because
offer
it's a
these
man
women.
that can dance.
I guess so.
It's a rare animal.
And I said, Toby, you got so much to offer.
It's like
these
he's got
women.
rhythm. Oh my god!
So how can you deny? How can you deny this to these women?
Because I mean, 95% of straight dudes can't
Yeah.
really dance. I mean,
He's
like,
like-
not to be an asshole, but they can.
Yeah, he's like I thought about it, but it's just not me. And I was like, all right,
That's what I mean.
okay. But what I don't understand, when he gets drunk, he loves you. He loves you.
Well, I'm
I had to
awesome.
get. They go lesbian and shit. I gotta fucking step in beside him. It's like, Toby, you stepping out of line. You getting too fucking heavy with it. You getting too. And he's like, I don't mean anything by it. And he tried to, fucking. That motherfucker tries to swoop you away.
I know.
I know that. But I understand. I understand. Y'all are girlfriends.
Well, like
No.
I said, he's a good dancer, and
Yeah.
he likes.
No,
to dan-
he's
he
all
likes
man.
to dance with me.
He's all man.
And he'll do like sometimes
he fucking loves
he'll be
her.
dancing with me, and he'll be
Yeah.
like worshiping and stuff. He'll like go
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
liking that. That's cool.
Yeah, he'll start worshiping and shit. And I'll be looking like that, and he'll look at me and fucking go, "Come on."
I'm like, all right.
He's trying to get me in, and I'm like, "No, I ain't getting it." It's
like, yeah, I'm
because
into
that
this.
bitch will try
Yeah,
to do
that's
something
right.
bad. That bitch will try to do something bad.
Worship.
You know.
I'm into it.
It's just how it is.
I'm into it.
This is the kind of clubs we go to. It's the kind of clubs we go to, and we've known these people for fucking over a decade, and it's just, you know what I mean? They're like you. It's like you're related to them. It's not the same.
Well, like I said, it's
Yeah.
that's why we like it.
Yeah.
Because we've known these people forever, and it's almost
Forever.
kind of like your family, but not
Yeah.
like the shitty people that you have to see at Thanksgiving.
Right,
Family,
it's not
but
that
like
kind of family.
that you actually like family.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Because we've known each other for so long. Let's see. Wait. I thought I saw something. Danny Rowling said, "Great show topic tonight. You outdid yourself, Jenny. Thank you."
It's a
Thank
weird
you.
topic, man. People living in your fucking house.
I didn't realize that it was that common. But the thing about it was that when I was researching it, okay, this is gonna like sound fucked up. In a way, I was glad to see that most of the cases didn't end up in murder like the last one did. But on the other hand, I was like, well, this is a topic and I want to like make a show about it. So I wanted to find like some horrific shit because that's like more entertaining. You know, I don't know what that says about us as a culture, but I'm just, I'm leaving that there. So most of the cases though were pretty innocuous. I mean, as far as that could be, like finding somebody like living in your house, I'm not saying that's innocuous, but I'm just saying like no one got killed or, most of the time nothing got stolen or anything like that. But so I tried to find like some cases that were creepy, because some of the cases that I read were like, yeah, that'd be creepy, but nothing that bad really happened. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that like most of them don't turn out badly, but you know what I mean. So let me see. Sly says, "I knew if I had met you guys 40 years ago, I believe we would have clicked."
40 years ago, I'd have been 13.
40 years ago, I would have been 10.
No.
I was cool when I was 10, though.
He's only
I
10
think.
years older than us, though. See, he's acting like he's fucking egg shit and shit. You could come out of the club now. See, it wouldn't make it would be cool. It wouldn't matter.
I mean, no one would care.
we know people your age at the fucking club.
See, that's what I'm saying. You don't gotta you don't gotta do. We know people that are older
Right.
than us.
Right.
And nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats.
Yeah,
an
I'm 53. She's coming up on 50, so we're not young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're old motherfuckers.
Yeah, we just work out and do fucking strange chemicals.
Well, and I think that it's not just that, but it's
Yeah.
just the fact that.
We don't let this shit fucking bog us down.
And I think nowadays, like I said, there's not really the expectation. I think back in the old days, like when they're like, well, I'm 40 now, so I'm old.
That's it. I'm gonna fucking.
So I gotta act like an old person. And it's
Yeah.
just, even when I was a teenager, I was like, that's bullshit. Why can't I just like what I like forever? It's like, I don't
Right.
really want to like have to act like an old person because
Yeah.
other people think that I ought to.
Sly says I'm 62. Shit, we know fucking people your age at the club still.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
people older than us there.
Yeah, there's people older than us.
there.
They've been around forever, and they're having fun.
And it's like, I don't know, that's kind of the cool thing about it is that That is like a weird thing to say, but it's like it's kind of like a safe space. You just go there, and it's like even if you're old and you dance kind of fucked up, or it's like nah, they're having a good time. Whatever.
Uncle Danny was about 70.
I thought he was older than that.
Maybe, 72, 73.
I thought he was older than that.
He partied until the day he died. Next thing, Uncle Danny didn't show up. And found out he was in the hospital, and the next thing you know, he was dead.
Man, that
Uncle
motherfucker
Danny.
was on all the drugs.
He was on all the drugs. Let me show you Uncle Danny. We called him Uncle Danny because he was just everybody's uncle.
That dude was so cool.
His name was Danny.
He used to come, we
Danny
used
Titley.
to see him. Yeah, Danny Titley.
Danny Titley.
We used to see him at iBar
Yeah.
every weekend. Actually, it wasn't just the weekends, because a lot of times when we would go during the week, sometimes he was there then too. I think he used to go every night. And he was in his 70s.
Yeah.
He was on many, like, illegal drugs.
Yeah.
And he
Ecstasy.
he
was
had
on
a diary.
Molly.
That too. He
Yeah.
had a drug or a diary in which he kept
Yeah.
track of all the drugs that he was on.
Yeah.
How much did I take today of this and that and the other? Yeah, that's him.
That was Danny Titley.
That dude was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And he just came out all the time. And he was always having the best time. He was always so super upbeat.
And you can see he's mutual friends with me and Jenny at the fucking top. Everybody knew Danny. He just fucking went to the hospital and croaked. Okay.
But shit, man, he was like out dancing and like partying until pretty much the last.
Yeah. There he was. He was hilarious.
Everybody knew that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He would say the craziest shit. And like, to be honest, like he was on something
All the time.
always.
He was fucking high.
So he's fucking high as shit like
and
all the time.
that's the club we're talking about. He would go there. Look, that's a Sandra.
Hey, I was gonna say, that's
the
a Sandra
right there. And he was a kind of a mixed, kind of light skinned black dude who just fucking everybody loved him. And he'd show up, and
he was just such a good dude. He was just so positive.
Yeah.
And he would just come in, like I said, he was high as shit. And a lot of times he would talk to you, and it's like you had no idea
You knew what the fuck he's talking about, and he'd fucking start yelling, and his fucking false teeth would fucking
Oh
just
my God,
fall out, and he'd
you
pick
were
his
like,
false
yeah,
teeth up
man,
and put
cool.
it back in.
But then he'd
He
be
had them
like,
big
"Oh,
old
good
glasses."
music," and then he'd go out and dance.
Yeah.
And he was just having a good time, like out
Yeah.
dancing.
And he was
just a cool dude.
maybe 75.
Yeah, he was in his 70s.
And he was he partied until the day he died.
Yeah, I mean, he was out almost every night.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple nights we're like, hey, where's Uncle Danny? We didn't see him.
Yeah.
And then nobody knew where he was, like, for a few days. And then we found out that he was in the hospital.
He loved women. There he is. Hold on. What is that? Uncle Danny, he fucking loved women. He'd be talking about, man, her ass is so tight. There he is.
Aw.
He liked girls.
I kind of miss Uncle Danny.
Yeah, he's been dead for
He was a fixture.
5 or 6 years now, huh?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
He was a fixture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a fucking trip.
He was fucking great.
He was a lawyer, actually.
He was, yeah.
He was
back in
a
the day.
retired
He was retired.
He was a
but,
retired lawyer.
He used to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
He was super fun.
And he knew all the shit, and he knew everything. He liked fucking blowfly.
We used to see him. He was there Saturday nights all the time, so he was really into, like, 80s new wave. He would come on to Memento Mori sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, he was knew all the industrial music and shit like that. He knew everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was, like, super cool.
He would talk about politics and shit.
But he essentially came out until he got too sick to come out anymore. And
Yeah,
like I said, he was
got
in
too
his
sick.
70s. And
He says, I ain't feeling too good. And he was like, he was kind of like an old blues musician or jazz musician.
that's what he reminded me of.
I tell you what. And
Yeah, he was-
I said, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
He was like
I
that.
tell you this and that. I'm gonna tell you something. What? What'd you say? I can't understand what you say. Oh, fuck you. He's exactly like that. He's exactly like that.
That was a really good impression, actually.
Yeah, it's just, oh, fuck you. I don't tell you one thing. And then I'll tell you what, bro. And then the next thing you know, he's coming in and sitting in my fucking teeth file. I don't know what the hell happened. I said, yeah. He was like that. Like, what the fuck are you saying? You know what I'm saying. I didn't know. No, I don't know what you're saying, but man, fuck yourself. I don't know what you're talking about. That's exactly the way he was.
See, like, when he would go like that, I'd just be like, yeah, that's right.
I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like,
Because, like I said, to be fair, he was super high as shit.
he was high.
Well, he was very honest, though, about, like I said, he kept a diary.
He would tell you all the drugs he took.
And he's like, and he would show you, like, if you asked, like, what do you want tonight? And he's like, well, I took this many milligrams of this today and this many milligrams of this.
Like, I took Molly yesterday, and today I'm on this and that, and then I'm going to take LSD tomorrow and the next day, and I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I take crack on it. And I love crack. And then the next thing you know,
Yeah, that's what he liked crack. He liked everything. Anything to keep him running. He was funny, though. He's funny as fuck.
He was funny as shit.
Them cops, they never fuck with me. The cops never fuck with me.
He was like
That's
that.
What, yeah, he used to say that.
Yeah, he was always saying the cops never fuck with me.
Well, he didn't cause any trouble.
No,
he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't violent. He wasn't obnoxious. He was just, like, super friendly.
Yeah,
everybody knew him, and it's just kind of like...
He was an old attorney. Yeah.
Like I said, no one's gonna fuck with you. You can do all the drugs you want as long as you're not causing any fucking problems.
And he was retired, so he didn't have to go to work or anything.
Yeah. He just really, really liked going out to the clubs and dancing and taking drugs, and everybody knew him, and it was just kind of like he was having a good time. And everybody's like, all right.
Yeah, Murder says he looks like a beatnik. Exactly.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
He'd sit there and smoke and pull the glasses off and this and that, and he was like an old beatnik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder Hornet says, shut up some heroin today.
Yeah.
I think he might have said that at one point.
Oh, yeah. He had no qualms about he took everything.
I liked
He
that
said, you never took Molly?
And I said, no, I never had. Oh,
Molly, great. You get to put that dipping in it and you smoke it. This is fantastic.
He'd tell you about how great Molly was.
I liked that he kept, like, very close track of everything.
Yeah.
He had the little book.
He'd have a whole book about what he took. Yeah.
He kept very close track of it. I was just like, all right, fair enough. But yeah, we kind of miss him because, like I said, everybody knew him. He was like a fixture downtown in his 70s.
Yeah, and then like the owner of Barbarello's was like, "What happened to Danny? I haven't seen him in a while." And I says, "He's dead." He's like, "Yeah, I figured." Because
I mean, we kind of thought like after he hadn't shown up for like a week or two, we kind of figured that something was wrong.
Yeah,
because he used to come there like
kept asking and
pretty much every night.
Kept asking through there and then through Facebook, and then all of a sudden there was an announcement that Danny Titley had died.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I mean, everybody kind of figured it out because he used to like come there all the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were asking like, what the fuck happened? Then I think like his his relatives came on and said, yeah, we know a lot of people have been asking, but yeah. So, but just like I said, just goes to show, dude was in his 70s, and he just fucking went out having a good time, man. What he wanted to do. And he was always, like, always happy and always positive. He was just always having a good time. So, I told Tom many times, I'm like, that's how I want to go out. Just, like, drunk, maybe high, dancing to some shit, and... like, not even worry about how fucking old I am. I just thought that was really cool. But you know what I mean. Sly said, that's me, super friendly, retired, and love people like you guys. Yeah, see? That's what I mean. You don't gotta, like, just... Nowadays, you don't gotta be like an old person, like in the old days. It's okay. Murder Hornet said, I was friends with a lawyer, and years later I found I was banging my girlfriend. Oh my goodness. Okay. Danny Rolling said, sounds like a raspy Pill Cosby. Yeah, a little. Yeah. Tom does lots and lots of voices. But honestly, the voice that he's doing for Uncle Danny, that's pretty much what he sounded like. I mean, almost spot on. That's pretty much exactly what he sounded like. And, I mean, I would go to the club. You guys know, I'm pretty deaf. And especially if there's, like, other noise, like if there's really loud music and if there's, like, lots of other people talking, I cannot hear a goddamn word that you're saying. So a lot of times, like, people want to have these big in-depth discussions. Like, people have a couple of, like, drinks, and then they're just kind of, like, and they want to talk about, like, all this deep shit, which is cool, but I'm just kind of like, I really wish that I could hear a single fucking word you were saying right now, but I really, really cannot. But I feel too bad. I feel kind of bad just, like, saying, hey, I can't hear what you're saying. So a lot of times I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if, like, at some point, like, I've been talking to, like, some people about some really deep shit in the club, and, like, they told me some really fucked up shit, and I was like, yeah, cool. I probably have at some point, because I couldn't hear what they were saying. I can't hear what they were saying. So, you know. John Gora said, my theory on lawyers is they see how fucked up so much of humanity is, and it rubs off on them. Yeah, maybe. Murder Hornet said, check your messages, Tom.
Yeah, he's talking about how fucking huge my arms are. He's getting jealous. Yeah, man, we'll fucking work out, man. Don't just take shit. You gotta take shit and work out.
All right. We gonna have some more pizza?
Yeah, let's get some more shit. Shut it down, Jenny. Shut it the fuck down. We're gonna be on tomorrow, and then
no, not tomorrow. Friday.
Oh, that's right. We're off tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
and then just
Thursday.
Friday. We'll be on Friday.
Friday night.
Day after tomorrow.
Before we go out.
Yeah, and then we'll party with us.
Tomorrow I'm gonna take the day off so I can nap.
Yeah, and party with
And
we're gonna
get some
party
other shit
party
done.
with us tomorrow, kind of early, and then we'll leave. We got to go to the club tomorrow.
I mean, but for that we really don't have to leave until. I don't think they're. Dimitri told me that they're not opening the doors until 10.
It's okay.
So we don't actually have
We
to
just
leave
can't drink
until
a whole lot. We can't drink a whole lot tomorrow
9:30.
because
We don't actually have to leave until 9:30.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying like, oh, you can drink as much as you want. I'm just saying we don't actually have to leave until 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Rebecca just got here. No damn time zones.
Yeah, it's time zone, Becca.
And honestly, it's going to be, I'm warning people ahead of time, it's going to be in 2 parts because we did like about a little bit over an hour and then our power went out because it was a really bad storm.
Yeah,
so we
so
had to
2
like,
parts.
So we had to start over. So it's going to be like in 2 parts the show, which we haven't done for a long time because we've had a good internet connection. But like I said, our power went out because it was a storm. But, you know. So, all right. So we will be back Friday evening for the Sidetrack show. Hopefully you guys had a good time tonight. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Yep.
Yeah, we all had a good time. All right, so we will see you guys again Friday night. Thank you very much for dropping by. Thank you for your super chats, and we will see you again on Friday. Bye.